Jerk! Let's go! Cam's a shit kicker, 2 bombs in the lead. Soul Dragon Cougar's no time for fatigue. And he's a shit talker, stirring up the show. Never played a shift, but he's ready to go.
The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by Stifel, one of America's fastest growing wealth management and investment banking firms. Rooted in St. Louis, where success meets success. Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast, presented by Stifel, episode number
385. Yank, let's go, baby. Boom. Bush Light. What's up with you?
I'm rattled today.
Why?
I just am.
Why?
A little bit.
See, we know why, but then Andy's got to go. Now we can't. We have to be cryptic. We have to be cryptic. Just tell him why you're mad. Why you're okay.
I don't want to say.
No, I know. See, when you have to tweet things out and stuff like that, commenting on different things, it might rattle other people. And so Andy has to deal with that a lot because he's always tweeting things out. But then
sometimes you'll see, like, sometimes it'll rattle somebody that has, I don't understand why
I know.
It would rattle them.
I know. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Can't be too cryptic to the fans because then they're going to be like, what? You can't start a show like that anymore.
Okay, fine.
You can't start a show like that. It's 75 degrees, baby. Nice outside. People are golfing.
Should we start?
It's nice
should we start
here.
the show
No,
over?
we're good.
You want to start it
over?
over?
No, because they need to know that, you know, you're in the game and you know, the fucking trade deadline and this and that, and there's a lot going on.
Cam, can you give me your winners and losers of the trade deadline?
Yeah, I would. The team that I'd say that people aren't really talking about enough maybe would be a Detroit that kind of just slid in there and got a couple guys that might fit in.
Yeah, I think
no one even talks about Detroit that much. They're still in the mix doing their thing.
And DP,
is that
familiar
a good one?
there? No, that's not.
Goddamn right. You don't think he's going to score?
That's a pretty good one.
You don't think David Perron's going to score a couple big time goals for you guys?
I know people are going to say this and
Nate.
Call me a homer or whatever, but I think the Blues did a great job with the trade deadline.
They did. Although the noise wasn't good.
No, there was a lot of noise.
Yeah, there was a ton of noise.
I don't love noise all the time.
It's not good.
There's a lot of noise. But I will say getting a first and a third and a player and a prospect.
Jeez Louise.
For
the Shin Dog and Falker?
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you got to take back some money, so you take back Jonathan Drouin.
Drouin scored a nice goal the other night.
He did. Great one-timer. He's a passer, too.
Somebody interviewed him afterwards, and you could tell that he's like a open, nice, talky,
I had him on during
talky poo kind of guy.
Intermission.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Like how he was.
He's like, hey, how are you?
He's such an easy interview.
I'm like, dude.
I love talking to this guy.
That's what I like.
Actually, I was thinking after, I'm like, we're going to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, God, yes.
Because he was sick in junior and like unbelievable, like phenom. And then something kind of went down in Tampa, if you remember.
Yeah, well.
He was a third overall pick. Came into the league really more as a playmaker, as a passer than a goal scorer. And put up a lot of points in Colorado. I think he had more than 90 points in 120 games in 2 years there. Signed a decent-sized ticket.
It's only 30.
With the Islanders, and it just didn't work out well there. But you know what? Hey, the Blues will take a player.
God,
so they had to take some salary back in return. But people don't always look at it this way, too.
He's got almost 400 points, dude.
I know. But by
662 games.
By moving Braden Shen, you save, immediately take $13 million off the books because he's owed 6.5 over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
In cap hit money.
Yep.
So, cap space. So, $13 million immediately off the books, and you got to bring back $4 million. So, I guess you're saving $9 million.
Sure.
Because Drouin is still under contract next year.
Nice shot.
And then with Falk, he's under contract next year at 6.5, and you bring back Justin Holl. You had to take a contract back, take some money back, and the Blues needed
break him down real quick.
Blues needed a
break him down
defenseman.
Real quick.
I will. So, you save some money there. He's not under contract next year, so this is purely just to finish out the season. I don't know. He's kind of been up and down throughout the course of his career. I've always heard people kind of give him a little bit of a hard time, but he's gotten paid, so he's played good hockey to earn a contract, and then maybe he wasn't able to live up to it. Wasn't in the NHL this season, so listen, I'm not going to pretend like they're getting a guy back that's really just going to take them, it's going to have like a major significant role here, but who knows? Maybe he can find his comfort level.
How old is he?
Play well. He's in his early 30s.
Okay. So, yeah, he's a player. Listen, he's a guy that is going to just spot in here and there.
But,
it's all good. I agree.
I've got no issue
Besides the noise, I thought Doug did a pretty damn good job.
He's 34. He's 34.
He's an old.
I want to say that Drew Ann is like 31 or something.
He's 30. He's 30.
Yeah,
which is not old.
No.
But yeah, I agree with you. I know the noise with Colton Parayko, which I think did surprise a lot of people, including him.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, listen, you got to make moves. If the Blues would put themselves in a better situation, none of this would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't. You've been very inconsistent until now. You finally win, 4 in
a row.
The
team, if they would have played better on the ice.
They would have played better on the ice. You put yourself in these kinds of
then
situations.
You're not looking to unload guys.
Exactly.
I know.
They're going to unload Parayko if you're in the mix? No.
Sometimes it's tough, I think, when you're a GM because your job is to truly set the organization up moving forward, right? Try to, move on from aging players, get younger, try to get better.
You got the best out of a lot of these guys.
Sometimes you make mistakes, but sometimes you do the right thing at the same time. So in this particular situation, I know, you've got popular players in Shen and Falk and guys that obviously had a lot of leadership and significant presence inside the dressing room, with Shen being the captain. So it creates a lot of attention. But if you look at what a lot of people are saying on the opposite side of things, they don't feel like the Islanders, like it was a great move for the Islanders to give up a first and a third to bring in a guy who's, approaching his mid-30s and, probably isn't the player that he once was. But I think Shen can still play and still add a lot of value.
Turn that off. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a great pickup for them. God, he rocked somebody the other day. They're a fun team to watch, man.
He's going to come in just crushing
guys. And that crazy fan base in the island, they're going to love this guy. Mm-hmm. You're going to love him. They're playing actually tonight. I wish a game we could actually break the game down.
It's interesting how it went down because with the Islanders and the Blues at the same hotel.
Same hotel. Yeah.
You just don't see that happen very often.
No.
I was, they keep the players and everybody on the separate floors and whatever, but on my floor was where the New York Islanders management was. So I'm leaving the hotel.
Oh God, Andy was probably creeping them out so bad.
I'm getting out of my room, and Shen is walking to their room to meet with management,
which was on which they were recording
for them to basically give the pitch for him to accept the trade. And you knew once he walked in and he saw Patty Waugh, and Matty Martin, who's cool as shit, and obviously that's why it's important to have these guys that are fresh out of the game on your management team. I think it's important to have that, because you just have that instant connection, that instant respect that they bring to the table. And then, Darsh, obviously, who's doing his thing as the GM and trying to go for it. But he also ran into Matty Barzal and a few other guys.
Schaefer. Are you kidding?
At the
hotel. Look at that kid. He's got a smile on his face like, I'm ready to play hockey all the time.
Right. But so part of me thinks if the Islanders weren't at the hotel that maybe he says no.
I was surprised when it all went down, but then you look at the details of it and you're like, that's tough. When they're like, hey, we're in it. You want to be a part of this? Mm-hmm. Let's go. And he's probably like, yeah, I do, actually.
What do you make out of Leakgate?
I don't know. It wasn't great. You know what I mean? Colton Parayko has to come out and give us a little spiel. Everybody's talking about it. What happened? People were chirping Army for, not going to Colton Parayko before you work this deal out. Sometimes that's not the case anyway. No. You got to get the deal done. And you look at him like, hey, there's a little bit more pressure on you. Do you want to take this? This team's doing pretty well.
Just like I don't think he went to Braden Shen before that deal was done. I don't think you go to a player. Sometimes, listen, I think every situation is different.
It is.
And I think sometimes, if it's Quinn Hughes, for example, who doesn't even have a no trade or a no move, I believe. I think they could have traded him anywhere, but they were going to work with him. I think when you're a star player, I mean, you look at the situation with Ryan O'Reilly in Nashville, whether you agree with it or not. I mean, they're treating him like he's got a full no trade, even though he has no trade protection at all. And he didn't want to go, and so they kept him there. I don't know if that's in the best interest of the organization, but that's the decision they made. I think sometimes you do go to a player and say, hey, listen, this team may have interest. Is it worth getting into a negotiation? Would you go there? And I get that. But at the same time, maybe you don't want to get it into a head of a player and say, hey, we're trying to move you, and you don't go to the player unless you have something to present, unless there's an actual deal in place, and it's really worth having that conversation. So I could see different situations calling for different.
I agree with that.
Different reactions. And
sometimes when you talk to these guys, they're like, no, sometimes they don't go to the player first. Mm-hmm. They work the deal out and they're like, here it is. So you want it or not?
Because I've heard different ways from different general managers.
Yeah, exactly. So did I. They're all getting interviewed about this whole situation now.
But I will say, I think it's unfair to and I've known Doug Armstrong for a long time, and the people who are inside that room, he's not telling everybody who's outside of the room, for example, okay? It's not really in his MO to leak anything. I don't think he's got a really strong relationship with a lot of the insiders. I don't think he talks to them a lot.
I can't see that.
And I don't see him like texting out, hey, we got to trade with an insider to get that out. In fact, I can tell you that the Blues organization, I think they were really upset that it got out because of the fact that Colton Parayko had to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't think they were happy about that at all.
No, I agree.
So I know that Army came out and said he was checking phone records and all that type of stuff. You know, I just would have said probably, hey, listen, you can think whatever you want, but I can tell you right now it didn't come from us. And if you don't believe us, then that's on you. The person who leaked it and the person who got the information knows where the information came from. So go ask them if it came from us.
Instead of saying, hey, we got all the phones.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
Well, I just would have said, I don't know, go ask the guy who reported it and ask him where he got the information and ask him if he got it from the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
And I think in a way that, that is what they're trying to say. But I've done some digging too, and I can tell you, and I'm not just saying this, that did not come from the Blues. And it's and I don't care to throw anybody else under the bus who I think it came from.
Who do you think it came from?
I don't want to say, because it is what it is. There's leaks all the time. Why? If you watch the trade deadline or watch a lot of reporting that takes place by the inside, a lot of these guys are tweeting the exact same thing at the exact same time.
You heard what old boy just said.
Somebody's leaking it all the time. And there's always leaks.
James talked about it with the great Bob McKenzie.
Right.
On how like he would know before even they, like he would be in the mix because he'd have somebody right there, boom, tweet it out real quick.
Exactly.
And get it out there so
and
fast.
I've broken a lot of stories throughout my career. Somebody's got to give me the information. There's always been somebody's leaking it,
sure,
whatever. I don't know why all of a sudden it's a bigger deal this time, other than the fact that, maybe it threw Colton Parayko.
It just because
it blindsided him a little bit, and then he had to like deal with that.
If it was Justin Falk, I don't think anybody would bring it up because his name was in the mix for a long, long time now. Colton Parayko's wasn't.
Not as much.
His
name was kind of thrown out there as a potential, but you're right. It wasn't. He was
way down the list.
Falk was a guy who everyone knew was going to be moved.
Having one of his better years, his value's high. Shin was in the mix. Bennington was in the mix. Cairo. And Thomas was a little bit of a surprise too.
It was again, yeah, and he confirmed this yesterday with Jeff Merrick and those guys.
Yeah.
But he did a few days ago too during the whole situation, but they never asked him to waive his no trade, so they never even had a conversation with him about it. I'm sure a lot of players are being talked about. If everyone had any idea of what every general manager is talking to other general managers about, I bet you there's a lot of names that are brought up.
Sure.
And there's also situations where players are asked to waive their no trade clauses or no move clauses, and it never gets out. You never hear about it. In fact, Braden Shen was asked to waive his no trade a year ago.
Yeah, in L.A.
And it never got out.
Yep. I remember being on that trip.
So
that was a big deal. Like that was a little weird because you've always talked about that too. Like the GMs don't stay in the same hotel when this all goes down. They're all having their meeting. It was really awkward.
Yeah.
Shin's name was brought up. You see him in the
Remember
lobby.
when Tarasenko, all that came out about him wanting a trade?
And they didn't
that wasn't
trade him.
coming from the team.
But they didn't trade him.
Right.
That was different. You know what I mean?
And that wasn't coming from the team.
You're playing.
So I just think like these are experienced.
It's drama.
Experienced manager, experienced NHL executives that are working on the St. Louis side. And so, listen, there may be situations where they do put stuff out. I don't know. But in this particular situation, I felt like automatically the assumption was that it came from the team. And a lot of people insinuating that. But from what I understand, that's not how it went down. Obviously, I'm not the one that originally reported it, so only he would know. And he's not obligated to share his sources and where he got that information. Good on Darren Dreger, who I think was the first one to put that out.
He was. Do you? And I'll answer it too. Like if I'm Colton Parayko, I'm banged up, I'm on the road. He does like St. Louis. Like he's treated great here. He's got a lot of stuff going on. That is all true. But if I know Buffalo's a good team, but if I'm him, I'm kind of like, you're asking me now? Like, ooh, he did say something to the effect of, "I don't even know what I'm ordering at like Chipotle that day,
Starbucks.
or Starbucks." And I'm like, I kind of get where you're coming from. So you're on the road, you do this, and I don't care if Buffalo's exciting this year or not, man. Ooh, they still have work to do to be able to prove themselves to get players like this.
You're 100% right, and who's to say Buffalo's going to be good next year?
I know.
You know what I mean?
They have to prove themselves.
I know that they look like that they're set up to be good for a long time. They've got a lot of really strong, talented players.
They're loaded.
But, you look at the NHL this season, there's a lot of teams who had great years last year who are out of the playoffs right now. So you just...
And Buffalo had loaded teams before that didn't do much with.
So listen...
You got to prove yourself to get a Colton Parayko.
If he had 1 year left on his deal, if his deal was expiring this year and, hey, go play in the playoffs, I get it. But my feeling would always be, if I were in that situation, if I had a full no trade, I would exercise my no trade, and he had every right to do so. And if you're going to trade me, then I'm going to try my best to get you to trade me to where I want to go.
Well, didn't he negotiate that in his contract? Meaning he probably took less money to AVV to tell Army, I'll give me a no trade here. Instead of 7.5, we'll do 6.5. So in reality, like, he's helping out the cap because he agreed to take less.
But there's nothing wrong with the team going to him and saying, hey, would you waive your no trade to go to a team that you maybe don't want to go to, like Buffalo, for example.
I know.
Or to go to Braden Shen for a team that is on his no trade list, like the New York Islanders.
And it's like, okay.
Because everyone knows that they could easily say no, and then you're back to square one, and you gotta move on. So,
or you're working at it. You're working at it.
I've seen teams put pressure on players. I remember reporting that Dougie Waite was going to that he turned down used his no trade to veto a deal to go to Anaheim. The team asked him to waive. He said no. Then they called him into the office and they basically said, "Hey, you're not going to play. You're going to be in the press box," essentially forcing him to accept the deal. And he ended up waiving his no trade. Went to Anaheim. Andy McDonald came the other way. It was a great trade for the Blues, obviously.
Saw him the other night
at the time with Andy Mack having the seasons that he had here with the Blues. So I think there's always different situations. You know, we're all not privy to what type of pressures are put on players behind the scenes and what those conversations are like. But it is a shame for Colton Parayko's sake, when you know his personality and who he is, that it did get publicized, because I think it just completely blindsided him.
Yeah, it did.
But he exercised his right to say no, and I think you move on, and there shouldn't really be any hard feelings.
But if I'm a St. Louis Blues fan, you can't chirp him for saying no. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I see a lot of that, and I know that there would have been a huge haul coming back, and I get it. You want to look through the future. I completely understand. In reality, probably it is better if he would have accepted that trade. But I don't blame him for saying no, man. I don't. Trust me on that. Like, I don't. Buffalo's not proven yet. He's got 4 more years. He's going to be in Buffalo. You're established here. Like, God dang, this could turn around. Like, you just don't know. Why would you want to leave to roll the dice there? Why don't you roll the dice here and keep it simple? You already know what's going on. You know the team. You're a leader of this team.
And
I don't know, man.
I was on Nick Kiprio's show when a lot of this was going down, and I had reported at the time that maybe things weren't moving as fast as it was suggested out there publicly, that he was 100% on his way to Buffalo. I know Drager originally reported, hey, this is depending on him waiving his no trade, but I think a lot of the other people jumped on the report, and I think the suggestion publicly was that it was a done deal.
Yeah,
he was going to Buffalo, right?
He did put that in there. Like, it hasn't been. Right. He did throw that in there.
He did,
but it got noise quick.
Yeah,
and
it was like, hey, this is happening.
This is happening,
right.
Dude. You went on Twitter, because I was in the locker room at the time skating with the boys. We saw you on TV. There's a little clip, and I remember like looking at Twitter and being like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
And then you said
so
something
I said,
like,
I pumped the brakes type thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think the source who sent me a text message said, like, hey, this report is a little premature. And I took that for being exactly what it ended up being, which is, hey, I don't know if he's going to waive his no trade. And I said to Kiprios, this would be a definite change in terms and a big deal for Buffalo and their fans. If you're able to get a prominent player to waive to go to Buffalo,
it's good for hockey.
That would be a changing of the guard. You know what I'm saying?
You need that. And Buffalo needs that.
And
exactly.
And all of a sudden, you would it would basically be a clear indication and confirmation that, like, hey, things are different
We're
now in
ready
Buffalo. Now prominent
Yes.
players, they want to go play there and they're willing to wait.
They're not leaving every year.
But that didn't happen. And so I don't think we're there yet. And I know that a lot of people out there are saying this has nothing to do with Buffalo. It's not about Buffalo. And it's all about him wanting to say it in St. Louis. I think there's probably a little bit of both.
Of course there is.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't beat around the bush. Of course there is. Again, you haven't proven yourself yet. When you've been in a doghouse for 15 years, you have to look at that. You're not down in Florida. Yes, the weather does count. Everything about it. You're not there yet. Now, you look at that team, they're pretty damn loaded. Like it doesn't mean anything yet. You go out there and dominate this year and really put on a show in the playoffs, now you will get the Colton Paraykos. Now you will get so-and-so.
If it was Tampa Bay.
If it was Tampa Bay, they'd go there.
If it was the Panthers.
If Carlson didn't go to Anaheim and this was Anaheim, maybe Parayko would be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to Anaheim. There's a difference. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. Mm-hmm. And Anaheim hasn't been that good, but you know what? It's nice there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or maybe San Jose.
San Jose, like Celebrini, like I'd play with him. Right. Now there's players up in Buffalo too, but
or if it was Edmonton, where he's from, like maybe he goes there. So I just don't think we're there yet.
No.
And I know Robert Thomas's name was in the news too regarding Buffalo, and if they would have presented him with a trade, like my guess would be that he probably wouldn't waive to go to Buffalo either.
No way.
So I just don't think we're there yet with Buffalo. Listen, my whole family is from Buffalo.
We know, Andy.
So
you said
I got a soft spot for Buffalo.
You don't give a shit about Buffalo. Don't act like you do. When was the last time you were there?
This season.
For the Blues. Blues.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were there to go see your family and visit that lovely town?
Unfortunately, I went to my grandma's funeral.
Oh, see.
In my grandpa's. Over the last few years.
He loves Buffalo.
And
loves it.
And I was there for the draft in 2016.
That's how much.
And
that's how much he loves it.
Went and met up with my uncle and stuff like that.
Okay. Big fan.
I love Buffalo.
It's all good. The people are great and they deserve it. And I've said this a million times, but it's like,
we are not there yet.
You're not there yet. It's okay. You can be.
Until we start seeing prominent players waiving their no trade to say, I'll go to Buffalo.
Until you start winning. You haven't won yet. Mm-hmm. You're winning right now. Yeah. You still struggled at the beginning of the year. What are you going to do in the first round? Then what are you going to do in the second round? Then we'll start looking, because these guys do mean business.
Because I think still some people look at this as like, okay, they changed their GM and all of a sudden things just changed a little bit and they caught fire.
Done that before.
We've seen that rarely with a GM because we don't see too many general managers get fired during the season anyway. That just doesn't happen very often. Coaches get fired, new coach comes in, teams take off. We see that all the time.
But they've had different GMs and different coaches. Oh, yeah. They've been through it all. And it hasn't worked out. And there's still a dark cloud over that organization.
Can I say this too? And I know this was out there too, and I think Patty kind of said it, but like I don't know if he really meant it. But I know that Colton Parayko, like emos and all this type of stuff with that. I don't think that had anything to do with it.
No.
And I actually had some players say that like this had nothing to do with, anybody else in his face. This was him.
Well, because
his decision.
Because Emos is in town.
Right.
I don't care. He's thinking about, I don't want to go to Buffalo right now.
Correct. And that's nothing more than that.
I don't want to go get up, move everything to go roll the dice with a Buffalo team right now. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's pretty simple. And a lot of decisions like that are that simple.
And Buffalo may end up winning a couple rounds in the playoffs.
They might win the Stanley Cup. And then he's going to look at it like, shit.
I should have
gone. But I rolled the dice here instead of rolling the dice there.
Right.
You don't have to overthink anything. You don't.
No.
And Braden Shin probably was like, yeah, maybe I didn't want to go there. And then all of a sudden you walk into the room with all those guys and with Patrick Wall talking to you. You got Matthew Schaefer walking down. And you're like, I like this style of hockey on this Islanders team. Yeah. And you're like, I see all these guys in front of me. Yeah, that made the decision.
Speaking of Patty Maroon, because he made a comment on Overdrive on TSN.
We love those guys too.
Oh, yeah.
God dang right.
They're hilarious.
They're hilarious. O-Dog,
so funny.
He did give Patty a look.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
But I think what Patty was saying,
I love it.
Like, I know I tweeted something out about what Roman Polak said in a conversation I had with Roman years ago, which I've said many times. I've said it to Doug Armstrong when he's been, and I thought his comments at the time, like, made it, like, not every player looks at it. Listen, I'm not an idiot. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure when you play in a big market like Toronto. I'm sure a lot of players do get caught up in what's being said about them on radio and in the newspaper, and I'm sure it affects a lot of the players. And they can't go anywhere without hearing about it. It's all over the place. I'm not naive to not believe that there's greater pressure in some of these bigger markets. Just like there's greater pressure to play for the New York Yankees than there is playing with the Tampa Rays.
Yes.
Okay? Or there's greater pressure playing for I don't know, I can't even say the Dallas Cowboys. They lose every year. You know what I'm saying?
Bills.
You don't think like Patrick Mahomes feels pressure playing in Kansas City, or Josh Allen doesn't feel pressure playing for Buffalo? It's the NFL. Everyone in the NFL feels pressure. Yeah. If you're a quarterback of an NFL team, you're feeling that pressure every single day.
College football.
But Roman Polak did say something that it's always stuck with me. And he felt like when he was here in St. Louis, because he was on such good teams and there was such great leadership in the room, and the expectations internally far outweighed what was being said on radio and what was being written about. So it was like you come to rink every single day when you have a team that's expected to win a championship or compete for a championship. You're feeling that type of pressure because you're expected to perform every single day. And I really think that's what Patty Maroon was trying to say, is that there's pressure, but maybe there's a little more pressure in some of these markets because there's a lot more media attention and stuff like that. But when you're a professional athlete and you're playing with a competitive team in a competitive environment, you do feel that pressure from management, ownership, who's spending money, and from that leadership group inside the room that expect you to come and help the team win for the guy sitting next to you every single day. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I do know what you mean. Yeah, it's
like, didn't you feel pressure in like
in my
certain
hometown?
Type of pressure in New Jersey, like
God,
with a team that went to the Stanley Cup final and Lou Lamoriello and all those great leaders that you were around, and the history with that organization?
Well, I'll explain it if you shut the fuck up. Walking to Lou Lamoriello and getting weighed every single day while he evaluates you was way more pressure than even coming to my hometown. Lou Lamoriello was so hardcore. Yeah, there's pressure every single day with everybody, even the big dogs. And Marty would always have pressure on him every single day because he demanded that. So every team's different.
Let me say this to you.
I'm just saying.
You don't think if Connor Bedard doesn't win a Stanley Cup within the next 5-6, you don't think he's going to be feeling pressure? If Macklin Celebrini doesn't get his team to the playoffs,
Dallas doesn't win a cup like those guys.
If Macklin Celebrini, because I don't think San Jose is making the playoffs this year, I just don't think that they will.
They could. Never know.
No, they absolutely could. But my guess is that I just feel like they're going to fall off. They're like two different teams. There's the San Jose Sharks when Celebrini's on the ice. There's the Sharks when he's not on the ice.
Well, I'm sorry. Like Carolina has pressure too. They got to win. You don't think there's pressure coming down from top to bottom?
And you had Rod Brindamore,
come on,
not happy with the lack of movement and reinforcements brought in at the trade deadline.
That's pressure for everybody.
So I just think there's all different types of pressure. Maybe I didn't articulate it very well, or Patty didn't say it as well for everyone to understand. Trust me, I think there's a lot of pressure when you play in Toronto. But I think the benefits far outweigh the pressure, don't they?
Yes.
Like, you get a lot of benefits that you probably don't get.
I like
when
these guys act
teams.
Like they don't want attention. They all do. Mm-hmm. You all want attention. And if you play well in Toronto, like, you're going to get you'll be remembered forever. I see these clips from like the good old days in Toronto. There's a clip that keeps cruising around with Ty Domi and Donald Brashear and warm-ups, and they're bumping into each other. Mm-hmm. And Ed Belak and McCabe had his mohawk and all. Like, play for Toronto is fun, man. Like, you could really take advantage of it in a positive way. Yeah, when you're not very good, you're going to take some heat. But God, you probably have a free car. You're making more money. Your face is everywhere. Don't act like you don't like that. When things are good, you love it. But when things are bad, it's a little bit extra pressure, but it ain't that big of a deal. It balances itself out.
And when you make a lot of money, there's pressure.
Of course.
And I'm not going to make excuses for like a goofy media guy here or there who writes stupid stories and who may say dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like when you're going after Austin Matthews and some of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, that's just like
so ridiculous,
dumb. And listen, we've got our boy on here on this edition, James Duthie. And yeah, you got two major television networks located based out of Toronto. So there's a lot of attention on Toronto. When we were there earlier this season, yeah, there's a lot of media. Brad Treliving had a press conference. There's a lot of people in there asking a lot of questions and whatnot. And I'm sure he feels a lot of pressure. managing the Leafs. And I'm sure Craig Berube feels pressure. I'm sure every head coach feels pressure. And maybe there's a little more pressure when you're
the Devils are feeling pressure
when you're
this year.
coaching Toronto versus coaching a different team. I don't know. So listen, I can see it both ways. I just don't think the pressure and the attention can just automatically be an excuse for why they don't have success.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
But I do think it plays into it a little bit.
Did Mark Messier have pressure in '94
when he said, "We will be back for Game 7
against the powerhouse Devils"? No, just in Canada, just in Toronto. Get out of here! Come on.
Gretzky had pressure in LA.
You don't think Bennington had pressure when he was going up to Winnipeg for his first playoff game? And then all this crap came out on Twitter, and he has to have like an emergency meeting with the brass of the Blue. What the fuck? And he still goes out there and beats President's Trophy.
I never played for Toronto, so I don't know.
You don't know.
No, but I didn't.
No, you didn't.
But I admit that I don't know what that's like. I can just go by.
I know that Toronto pressure, man. When they don't like you, I'll tell you that it ain't fun.
But I just can go by what players say, and I feel like talking to a lot of players who moved on from Toronto, they didn't love playing in Toronto either. But it really was never about like the fans or the media. It was more like I didn't like Ron Wilson or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We weren't that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's Dougie Gilmour saying? He probably loved it.
Fuck, who did
set him up for life?
Who did he just say? He's getting angry on Twitter. I think he chirped Nick Alperk.
Matt Sundin.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
this guy was able to thrive under pressure, set him up for life as an icon in Toronto.
Yeah.
Wendell Clark handled the pressure, set him up
the
for
biggest
life.
Of the big. Ty Domi could do what he wants.
But wasn't it Craig Button who said that the Toronto fans don't deserve Austin Matthews because they've run all these other stars out of town?
He did say that. That's our boy right there.
He brought the heat.
He did bring I love having these guys on
that come on and just bring the heat.
I love
man.
it.
We love you forever.
We love it, man. And they're not saying wild shit. They're speaking the truth.
Right.
I love it.
It's all about speaking the truth.
You're damn right, baby. God, let's go.
Hey, it's great. I got to give a shout out to San Jose, Anaheim, because these teams obviously are starting to win. And it's great to see those buildings filled with energy and excitement.
Yeah.
And the people there. I love seeing that because I've been to some big games in Toronto or San Jose over the years, playoff games back in 12-13 maybe, 2016.
God, they were good for a long time, Andy.
Where it's just a great atmosphere. Those teams were so good for so long. They got to the final one year, but they never obviously were able to win a Stanley Cup. Then you have all those down years. And in a market like that, when you're bad, like you're just not going to have a lot of people paying attention and coming to the games.
Yeah, it's easier to get distracted.
Would you say there's some markets, though, that there's zero pressure?
No.
Okay.
No, in the NHL,
like when you're bad,
zero pressure. You're playing 80. You're gonna be playing 84 games a year.
Yeah.
And unless you sign a big ticket, like you need to build that money up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be a 2-year. Everybody's got pressure. Even in Columbus, you have pressure. They got to fucking win. It's just nice sometimes probably walking out of the building and you could probably walk different places and no one really comes up to you and bugs you. It's a good mixture here in St. Louis where people really don't bug you. No, you get fans, man. They'll get there's always a guy on every single Blues team that they kind of go after.
But they would never say it to you publicly. Like,
no,
in your face.
I've never had anybody say anything stupid to me. I've never seen that with any of the guys. Everybody's nice. Now, are they drunk and annoying at times and maybe like a little touchy poo? Sure. You just walk away. No big deal. But no one, that St. Louis Blues fans, they all know you, but they don't bother you.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It's a cool mixture here in St. Louis. That's why everybody likes to live here.
Yeah, it's a good mixture.
They don't bother Andy, especially when Andy's got to walk around.
Yeah, they just
kind of God, you were good the other day.
They let you eat dinner.
When
they're like, terrible tweet.
You're tweeting. Needs improvement.
I try not to tweet anymore. You know what?
I hate it.
I may quit Twitter.
I hate it. I hate all that shit.
I feel like Twitter is just...
I roll my eyes more. Listen, I look at Twitter all the time, and the majority of the tweets, I roll my eyes at like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I do. I know. Then I'll be like, that was interesting.
It just creates...
But then I'm just more like, the guys are trying so hard. Yeah. Everybody's trying hard to get there. You listen to me. I got something to say. I have a statement to make, and you listen. Most of the time, I'm literally rolling my eyes like, oh, fuck off. Ugh, okay.
It creates stress
Thank
in
you.
your life.
And they're like, isn't it better to have the sock on this shoe than that? I'm like, what? What?
Mm-hmm.
Then they get in those kind of tweets.
Why is Instagram way less stressful?
It's not. For girls, it's probably the worst thing possible because you have to keep up. God, yeah.
You mean kids?
And Chloe, yeah, goddamn right. All the girls in high school, you know who the popular ones are? The ones that probably have the most followers on Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
There's
Not the nicest, cool, fun one. No.
Who's got the most? Who
and
gets
that's
the
a
most
shame
likes?
because they're showing a little bit of this. Maybe they're showing.
Oh,
Maybe they're clever with
God.
something. Maybe their mom and dad got money, so they're in their car. Whatever the case is, they have a better kind of life than you, and people look at it. It's not the cool, funny. And the ones that are going to make all the money, well, they could, I guess, from that. But you have a lot of competition. You better be really pretty. You better be really pretty, or you're going to have to be more, you know what, to get more likes. So you're in a weird predicament there. But the more popular kids in school are the ones and that's unfortunate. Guys don't give a, just so everybody knows. Guys don't give a fuck if a girl has followers on Instagram. They don't give a fuck. If you're good looking and you're cool, they will go out with you. I don't care if you work at McDonald's. I don't care if you work at Subway. I don't care if you're from a small town in the middle of Missouri. They don't give a fuck. The girls only do that to fucking show other girls.
You don't think if a girl is considered like the hottest girl in school and gets a lot of attention, most popular, a lot of attention on social media, and you get that girl, it's not like a feather in their cap or whatever. They don't like that.
That's the upper echelon of guys. I'm talking about normal fucking dudes.
You're talking about later in life, dude.
I'm talking about normal dudes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a good-looking girl, they don't give a shit if you have social media.
I agree with that.
They don't. You're talking about, the one kid that thinks the same way as the girl that has so much to show off that way? Mm-hmm. Sure, that's a small percentage. I'm talking about the regular people, the guy that's going to make money. He might not be the football, but he's going to make money. He does not give a shit.
What about when LeBron's sliding in the DMs of some supermodel with millions of followers? Oh, God. What do you do now? Oh, his arm.
Which shoulder? Oh, God. Pussy. How can anybody look at that and be like, I like him? That's your guy? It's every single day I see it. I don't even follow it. It's every day he does something like that. It's unbelievable. Then he gets like, they got to help him off. Listen, he's laying on the ground like this. And all his teammates are standing there. They're not even looking at him. Mm-hmm. Everybody, and then the other team's like, pussy. They're chirping him. That's your guy. Yeah, Kobe would have done that.
I think.
And you could be like, Cam, you don't watch basketball. You don't know. I know him. Because he's everywhere. I see what he says. I see his quotes. I see his stupid fucking bullshit after games. I see what he's about on Twitter. I follow him on everything. And I see his highlights, good and bad, because they overdo both. So, yeah, I kind of know LeBron. I don't know the game.
Reggie Miller.
He's annoying.
Reggie Miller just broke it down very well. He said that LeBron has probably had the best career of all time, but he's not the best player of all time.
Cool.
Reggie Miller for 3.
I like Reggie. He was hardcore, too.
He was. So was Cheryl.
Huh?
So was Cheryl.
Who?
Cheryl Miller, his sister. She scored 100 points one time in high school in a game. She can go to her right. She can go to her left. She can drive the ball. She can kick it from 3.
Don't annoy the people.
Great vision, great spacing.
Don't annoy the people. Fuck, there's a couple weird things.
And her ability to the mid-range game. She had a low post game. She had these great post moves, too.
Can I just say something, too, about this funny thing that's popped up with Logan Paul and the NFL players?
What has happened?
Now, Logan Paul's called out all the NFL guys, current guys, but he brings up like Tom Brady and stuff like that. And he's like, I'll give you guys $1 million if you box me, and I'll kick your asses. Le'Veon Bell actually does box. Mm-hmm. And I think Logan's trying to prove that he could beat the shit out of 99% of the NFL players if they boxed him.
Okay.
I'm telling you this right now. Do I like Logan Paul? No. Is he annoying? Yeah. Do I like Jake Paul more? Yes. I respect him a little bit more.
I can't tell the difference between the two.
They're one's WWE. Jake Paul's actually fighting. But
who's got the prime drinks? Like
Logan. He does great athlete.
And you like which one better?
Jake.
Okay.
But they're both kind of annoying in their own way. Disney kids. But they actually turn tough, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But I will say this to the NFL players, man. To be honest with you, boxing's a different animal. If you are going to get Richie Incognito to fight Logan Paul in an MMA fight to the death, ooh, Richie might fucking body slam him so fucking fast because he's 330 pounds and he's stronger than shit.
Psycho,
That's scary.
psycho.
I ain't fucking with that. But a boxing match, Logan's gonna get you, dude. He's got millions of dollars. He's got the best fucking trainers. He knows how to pick you apart. Is he as good as Jake? No. Did Jake look foolish against fucking Anthony Joshua? Yes.
Can I call
But
it?
will Logan Paul beat up 90%, 95% of the NFL players in a boxing match? Yes, he will.
Let me call it T.O. Because you're talking about Richie.
Here's Andy. He knows what's going on with the boxing.
Well,
Break it down.
I've been in the football a lot.
You've never been punched in the face.
How dare you?
That's good. But you have.
I think I have.
No, if you had to think
I had
You
two
are-
brothers, dude. We used to fight like
Oh.
crazy. I had a broken leg one time, and my brother ripped off the
when
handlebar.
you and when you have to say, me and my brothers when we were no, you never got punched in the face,
Yeah, I
and that's
did.
good. That's good.
I had a broken leg one time. My brother ripped off.
What were you going to say
the
about
bar
Logan?
off of the oven and hit my broken leg with it.
Awesome. What are you going to say? What are you going to say about Logan? What are you going to say?
Well, here's the thing. What's happening here? Because you're saying Richie Incognito. Richie Incognito at like 45 years old or whatever he is now is not like that's not the same as if you said, "Hey, I'll fight you when you're like 27."
No, he's calling all the current guys out. No.
Because you're saying Le'Veon Bell and Richie Incognito. I thought you meant like retired guys.
No, he's calling out current guys.
Oh.
And but I just said I just gave an example of Richie Incognito, meaning if they did a MMA, I wouldn't want to fight
But
Richie.
I'm saying if you're fighting Richie when he's playing in the NFL, like good luck, dude.
In a boxing match, he would
Well,
still get his ass
I
kicked.
know.
That's
Yeah.
my point.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So what's your
and
argument?
I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But Richie, if you
In
just
a
all of a
boxing
sudden
match,
put
you'll
him
get picked apart by
put him in
anybody.
like a street fight or something.
It's not that. It's a
Yeah.
boxing match.
Where
There's such a
yes.
difference. He's going to string him up. Bah,
Yeah.
bah, bah. God, there's boxers that will beat the shit out of you in a boxing match. They will fucking embarrass you. So, but everybody's like, I'll beat his ass. No, you wouldn't. Not in a boxing match.
Okay.
Everybody's actually, they're so tough.
I think everyone knows that. Oh, I think you're
No.
right.
No.
Some people think, boxing, I could kick your ass. But
Exactly.
it's not a
Thank you.
fight.
No.
It's a boxing
It's a
match.
boxing
So
match.
it's technical
So
boxing.
technical. It's
boxing
unbelievable.
gloves on. You
Exactly.
can't kick. And
Bah, bah, bah.
Yeah.
What are you going to run around and try to fight?
You can't body slam
I'm gonna
him.
make
you
you
can't
look
tackle him down to the
Exactly.
ground.
I'm going to pick you apart and make you look stupid.
Right.
So all these NFL guys are like, I'm the toughest. Not in the boxing ring. Do you get that? But Logan is a jackass. Fight Le'Veon Bell. He actually boxed. Go.
Le'Veon Bell is past his prime, though.
He boxes. So he knocked a guy out the other day. He showed a
Oh,
video
he's
of it.
still boxing? I think he did a couple of those boxing matches a few years back.
So anyway, that I thought that was interesting. That blew up and all those guys just know how to get the public going.
Mm-hmm.
You call out all these fucking hard-nosed, shit-kicking NFL guys. Everybody's a shit kicker. Everybody's tough.
So you think I would have a better chance fighting somebody in a boxing match versus like a street fight?
You would get murdered in any kind of altercation.
Yeah.
You would have to be with the women and children,
Mhm.
and
Oh my
somebody comes
God,
in and take
yeah.
care. It's all good.
I know.
Like, if things go down, I am protecting you.
Okay.
I am going to protect you.
You are.
If things go down in the house,
Yeah.
Lori's probably going to it's probably going to 50-50 split.
I will give you a shout out because you took Ty to a stick and
You're
puck.
damn right I did.
Well, I was out of town and I just wanted him
I-
just to get on
I
the
gave
ice
him a
and
lot of
just
knowledge
Get
in a
just
short
go
amount of
get a
time.
workout in. You know what I mean?
It was at a stick and puck, so I couldn't I was limited.
Mhm.
There's kids flying around everywhere. I'm getting hit in the face with pucks.
Were you?
Yes, because I'm retrieving pucks behind net, and kids are like, "Ugh!" And I'm like, God damn. All right, Ty, get on the wall. Let's go. Do a couple things. Boom, boom. Get your groove. All right, now let's make a lap. Backhand, one touch. Backhand, one touch. Backhand, one touch. Spin off. Let's go. 1, 2. Now go to a stick. Put a stick down. Little backhand sauce. Quick. I go, this is what you need to do. Find your friends. It's like little backhand. I swear to God, I start doing these little things where you just take a stick, put it down, sauce over, backhand sauce over, up sauce over. Those little plays on the wall where you're like, ding. We saw Matthew Tkachuk do that with Brady on the wall,
Oh, yeah.
held up, boom, sauce, lay it perfectly for him.
Yeah.
You play with guys that know how to just lay that fucking puck around.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing. It doesn't cost money. You could do it in a goddamn garage.
Mhm.
I showed him how to tip pucks. He's like this. I go, no, stick in front of you. If you're in front of the goal, stick in front of you. You can go either way. Threw a couple on. He knew how to shoot the puck. He kept shooting high. I go, just rip it quick. I go, get off, rip it. Get it off, rip it. He's like this, holding it and then trying to go top shelf. Now I know at that age, the kids are small. Top shelf's open, but it ain't going to be. You got to be able to rip that damn thing low. Fuck, go low. He kept shooting high every time, but he has a good shot. Get it off quick. Off your backhand, forehand, shoot. Backhand, forehand, shoot. Meanwhile, there's kids flying around everywhere, running into me, hitting me with pucks. But I got a lot out of that session. Your mama was there watching the whole thing. Lovely woman. I told her about me and you.
What'd you tell her? She really liked you. She said you were talking to everybody.
Well, I'm at...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go, that's Cam. He's just talking to
everybody. Know everybody.
Did you know people out there?
Well, yeah. Maddie Lashoff, all the guys.
Oh, he was on the ice?
Yes, I go, evaluate me. Maddie was on the ice with kids, and I go, watch what I'm doing.
Maddie was down there?
Everybody was there.
Wow, you should have had his kids come down too.
I was working on Ty.
Yeah. I didn't know Maddie was on the ice.
He was on the ice doing stuff.
Did he know that was Ty, or did you?
Yes. Everybody knows everything, Andy. What do you mean? Red Centene in St. Louis.
That's so funny.
Thinking, I don't know anybody out there.
Was he doing like a lesson with somebody else?
He was just standing there with another coach, just watching.
Oh, okay.
Laughing at me, I think. I was sweating my ass off.
Were you?
I needed to get a lot done in a short amount of time, but I didn't want to overflood his brain.
You were late.
With what?
You were late.
Dude, I just got done skating with the boys. I should have had to do two.
All right, so what do I owe you for that?
Just keep me organized, keep this podcast going, and
I may need
don't be fucking late like you were today.
I may need
Andy was late again today, by the way, 5 minutes late, which is not that big of a deal to normal people. I'm not normal. I get places early no matter what. No matter what. So if I have to wait 5 minutes for somebody, it does irritate me.
Well, maybe somebody can help me out with it, but like my daughter's got there's like something that's going on where her eyes have gotten like all like completely swollen, almost swollen shut.
Allergies probably.
And
take her to it.
And so she's going to a dermatologist today. She went to like a doctor.
Didn't you just go to a dermatologist?
I did.
For what?
Well, I don't want to.
I walk in the other day and he's like, I got to go to a dermatologist. I go, Jesus.
You want to know the truth?
I go, for what?
Because this thing right here is
It's not going away?
They had to test it for skin cancer. And so they want to cut it out.
Show the camera.
Yeah,
so look at that.
So this has been there for several months now.
Yeah, I don't even notice it much.
They tested it for, they want to cut it out. But I want to wait until after the season because I'm gonna have a big patch. So I'll have the patch on here, but I just don't want to be walking around with it.
You're gonna look like you gotta put a patch on?
Maybe for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I was gonna do it during the Olympic break.
You gotta get it done.
Was out of town.
You gotta get that done.
Yeah. So that's why.
Oh, am I making fun of you?
Kind of.
No, I'm not.
People go.
No, I'm not.
That's where you go for it. Hey,
it's just funny. If I say I'm going to a dermatologist, you're gonna be like, "Well, what the fuck?" Of course,
skin cancer is
hardcore.
Very serious.
Yes,
and she doesn't think it's. At first, she did. Kind of scared me. Did a little.
Yeah. No, you got.
But she wants to cut it out.
You gotta. It's weird now. We're in our 40s. You gotta look at your body. Now, sometimes it's not like you look at yourself in those mirrors. I got mirrors this way. I got mirrors that way. I'm like, but you gotta see if there's a lump, there's a bump. You got. Can I say something?
Because there's one thing.
Can I say something?
I need to do, and I'm not ready for it.
You need to touch your testicles in the shower and feel around. Okay, not masturbating. I'm saying look for that little thing.
Because you got to catch it. You want to catch it early.
You got to catch it early.
Okay, so,
sorry, I didn't mean to gross anybody out. I'm just if you know,
Dr. Cam,
fuck that. My dad told me that.
I know.
He said just look for it.
Okay.
Takes
Cam a little while to find it.
Because I got a big. Because what? Is that a compliment?
No.
Do what I said. Touch your testicles in the shower.
When you do steroids and stuff, it shrinks your balls.
I haven't done steroids.
I know you haven't.
I've done testosterone.
What is that?
I used to do testosterone, get the testosterone shots, just like a lot of guys do. And I got off of it, and I kind of feel the same.
Donnie Morehouse, rest in peace, my guy. He told me Cam was like the same size he is now back when you were like 12 years old.
Well, that's why I got drafted to Windsor Spitfires without having one fight in my. Everybody's like, "You fought your way." I'm like, I got drafted by the Spits without having one fight. They drafted me out of AAA.
What do you mean? You didn't fight with the Sting?
No, but I got drafted before I played for the Sting. Yes.
Really? Yeah, but you were hitting guys.
Fucking crushing guys and scoring 50 goals a year with 300 minutes of penalties, hits, not fights. I had to learn how to fight that next year.
That's not helping the team in youth hockey when you're in the box the whole time, though. Stop taking penalties.
I was playing
Stay out of the box.
Penalty kill. I never came off the ice.
Stay out of the box.
I was elbowing guys. Oh, God.
I want to give Chloe a shout out though. She made
dominate
varsity soccer as a freshman. Only
That's
freshman.
Pretty dang good. She's a good athlete. Dang good. Good job, Chloe. Love you, girly girl. Get that eye fixed. All good. No big deal.
What do you think it is? I need someone to reach out to me.
It's probably pink eye or something.
No, it's not pink eye. It's been like 2 weeks, dude.
Oh, is her face kind of?
Oh, it's all
Oh
swollen.
no, poor thing. And
And
she's got to go to high school.
yeah.
God, we've all been through that. You look weird, you know. You got to go to high school. Everybody's like, oh, what happened to you? You know, and the girl situation, unfortunately, if you're a dude, you got to whatever. But girls get it more than guys, I think, you know. I think they have it harder when it comes to that stuff, you know. But
Look how swollen.
oh, poor little thing.
Yeah,
poor little thing.
So it's
She'll
like
be okay.
yeah. So anyway, they can't figure out what it is.
I can see Andy and Lori kind of like being like, oh God. In a year, you're gonna look back on that and be like, no one even gives a shit.
You're like, wow, why couldn't they figure that out right away?
It just will not. It will be just nothing. It'll just.
You know, I told
little
Eric,
things like
I told
that.
Eric Johnson.
Don't stress
I
her
told
out.
Eric Johnson that back in the day when he tore his ACL. I go, you know what?
That's a different story.
No, it's not. Oh shit!
You really?
I told.
Are you really comparing Chloe's eye thing with EJ fucking up on a golf cart?
I told EJ at the time. I said, listen.
No wonder he hasn't come on our show.
I said, EJ, 5 years from now, people won't remember. You'll be fully recovered and fully healthy and right into your career, and this is going to seem like a distant memory.
It's always there. That ain't. That was.
What did Colton say? The
rear
view mirror is smaller.
The rear view is smaller than the front view and then the back view. Good God. I go, what?
The rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield, than the front window.
Oh, man.
Which is so true if you really look at it that way.
Oh, it's so funny. I was like, let me go back. What'd you say?
So I told EJ that.
Oh, you made him feel really good.
Yeah.
In 5 years.
I said 5 years from now.
In 5 days from now, that's not going to matter.
Okay, fine.
In 5 years, it still did matter. He got traded from the Blues and things like that. In 20 years.
May have been the best thing that ever happened to him.
20 years, it started not to matter. Does that make sense? When he won the Cup and now he's doing his social media stuff. He probably had to hide from social media because of that for his whole career until the end. Until he's like, finally, I did my thing. That was fucking brutal. And you just compared it to Chloe's eye problem. You are out. That it just shows.
I didn't compare it.
I bet you Lori and Andy are like, Chloe, oh God, oh God. Don't do that to that poor girl.
I told you I'm not a
Don't
hypochondriac.
do that to that poor girl. That is such a non-thing.
I'm not a hypochondriac.
I've told you EJ.
I've told you
golf cart.
I've told you stories, dude, of kids' parents who like overreact and freak out.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that too. Like you act like I haven't seen that my whole life too.
I don't do that. This is another example. No, she's pretty chill too, because she doesn't want to interrupt with her schedule. She's got working out.
Got yoga.
Do. I'm just kidding.
Did you buy a round of shots?
I did.
Why? Why do you do that? Because now that directly affects me. Do you understand? That was probably very expensive. And just so you know, those guys aren't like, Andy's cool. They're probably like, oh, what the fuck? You're buying, idiot. Why do that? Do not buy wealthy people a round of shots. Okay, they don't need $300 fucking dollars, probably.
Almost $400.
You son of a bitch. Why would you do that? Now you're going to keep these checks an extra week.
I got one for you today.
God damn it. You're going on the road for 10 more days.
Yeah.
How dare you do that? Don't do that again.
I know.
When guys used to do that to me, when we were making money and stuff like that back in the day, now I'm like, fuck yeah, give me a shot. Yeah. But you're buying a team shot. How about you buy?
I don't do shots.
How about you buy fucking some of the guys that are working that aren't making that much money shots? No. That's what you do.
Fine.
Unacceptable.
I take care of people.
No, you did. No, you're not. See, that's the difference between you. This is the difference where you need to get out of that little bubble of yours. Mm-hmm. You take care of the people that aren't making the money that you're making. That's what makes you cool. When you buy drinks for the players that don't even need shots, they already drinking what they want. They probably thought it was disgusting anyway. And you spend $400 to show them that you're cool is not good.
Can I say this too about the no trade clauses?
I wish they weren't allowed.
Why? What's that?
For trade deadline purposes, wouldn't it be nice if there was no trade?
Oh,
could you
imagine? Should we just get rid of them?
Yeah.
Get rid of the no trade clauses.
All of them.
But I will say I found it a little strange, and I kind of understand why too. But like when Tyler Myers, for example, he sat out games, everyone knew it got out. It was leaked that there was a trade from the Detroit Red Wings for him to consider that he ended up turning down. He's from Dallas. I think he's the first player for the Dallas Stars in their history who was born in Dallas, Texas. I think that's a cool story too. He wanted to go to Dallas. He was able to steer his way to Dallas. But he did say no to Detroit. That got out before he said no. Mackenzie Weegar had to waive to go to Utah. That got out before the trade call was made. And so I don't know why it was such a bigger deal for the Colton situation that got out versus some of these other ones that got out as well. Your thoughts on that?
Because Colton Parayko was not talked about being traded. All those other guys were.
I feel like Colton's name comes up every once in a while.
It did? I listen to
in the same way that Kyrou does, or like Thomas. No. I'm saying like some of the guys who are under contract who I had heard Colton's name mentioned.
Again, you got to take yourself out of your bubble.
Mentioned.
Your bubble is different than what everybody else is thinking.
Just
You're
like
talking
Bennington's name was mentioned.
Well, shit, yeah, it was. I'm talking about listening to people talk around town, on radio, on podcasts. Colton Parayko's name was never mentioned.
What's it going to take?
Never. And then all of a sudden it is. And this huge haul with another kid that's 6'6" coming back. Everybody in St. Louis.
That was different too. That everyone knew the details of the trade of who was coming back from Buffalo.
So everybody in St. Louis like, whoa, okay, we got the best out of Colton Parayko. He won a Stanley Cup for us. Now he's getting a little bit older. You know he's got a little bit of back problems. Whoa, okay. Now you got another kid that's 6'6", right-handed defenseman coming over here that was 13th overall or 9th overall. Big-time draft pick. You got all kinds of other things included in this. Whoa, what's going on here? That's what built it up. And then he's like, no. And then you come out and say he hasn't agreed to it yet. And then everybody's like, well, what? And then that blew up even more. Uh-huh. That's why. And then he says no. And then that blew up even more.
Yeah.
That's why it was the biggest story.
Okay.
I mean, shit, you're right in the mix of it. You can't figure that out.
That's why I asked you. I just wanted you to break it down a little
bit. It's fucking hilarious.
When are people
so unbelievable
around the league going to realize that Joe Hofer
is damn good?
Is like a top 5 goalie in the NHL.
So I thought Benner was going to be gone.
Is he top 5? What is he?
I don't know.
Does he have to win down the stretch? Does he have to win in the playoffs to get that distinction? Because if you say yes, I agree.
Because he wasn't at the beginning of the year. Okay, he wasn't. He was all over the place.
Pretty damn good last year too.
He was pretty good last year. This year he had a tough.
It's because Bennington's still here. That's why people.
But I think that you see,
they still view him as the backup.
They see his potential. He's trying to score goals every night.
He's going to score 3 in his career.
He's going to have more goals than me at the end of his career.
At the end of his career, no,
he'll have more goals.
I told him
that you might tweet that.
I told him you're going to have. I will tweet that.
That's a funny one.
I will. I told him that he'll have 3 goals by the end of his career, and he said, "That's it."
You'll have more goals than my partner, Cam.
Joel Hofer is going to have more goals than Cam Jansen when his career is done. Should I do it right now?
That is. I'm sorry. That's funny.
Let's just do it right now.
And I'll just text back, "You dick."
What are you going to say? Because I'm going to talk about John Carlson going to the Ducks. Yeah, because I'm excited to see how he does there. Maybe Washington brings him back in the offseason. Washington. Maybe they bring him back in the offseason.
Were you surprised by that?
Pacific Division is not very good.
Dang.
I mean, Anaheim's the best team in the league. Did you hear what Joe Quenneville said after the game?
What did he say?
He said like the Blues like one of the best teams they've seen all season, like in the most structured game.
Anaheim did not look good in that game.
Did not look good. They said the Blues were one of the best teams they played against all year, and now they've won 5 of 6. They've won 4 in a row. Could you imagine if all of a sudden, listen, it's going to be almost nearly impossible to get back in the playoffs. So I'm not saying that. But I was joking around with Jamie Rivers the other day at the end of the postgame. Dare I say it? They're only 8 points out of a playoff spot. But could you imagine if they just go on a run here and all of a sudden, entering the last week of the season, they're 3 points out or 4 points out? It's possible, Cam.
Okay, then what does that mean?
They're playing against a lot of teams out west.
But what does that mean? Oh, cool. You're 3 points out, and then you don't make it. And then what?
No, I'm with you.
Your draft stock.
I'm with you.
No, instead of a top 10, Like, if you talk to the people,
I get it.
as you know,
it.
you got the first 3 picks are probably going to be pretty big dog, but the next 8 or 7 or 8 are supposed to be pretty damn solid.
I get it.
Then it falls off, and so like now you're missing out on that. I don't know. For a run,
you know who I would take?
I don't know.
I would take like a Beckett Seneke.
But what do you do?
He's damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Seneke?
Yeah, I think we got corrected on that when we said it last time.
Well, we just
but
said
what do you, but
both ways,
but
so
everybody's
right.
like, but fans are like, how do you?
But Cam, how do you tank?
You can't.
That's why I said on this show, and I said on Kiprio's show, do you know how hard it is to get a top 3 pick?
It's so hard.
It's like almost impossible to get a top 3 pick. Like, it's hard to tank.
It's hard to tank. These guys don't give a fuck about the number 1 pick. Do you think the players are sitting in the locker room like, God, we got to lose because I want some young kid to come in here and take my job? No.
And Jim Montgomery,
they're all talking about him and this kid coming in. These guys are like, fuck this kid. I don't care. I'm fucking playing.
You think Monty and his going into the the pregame meetings, he's like, this is what we're going to do to lose tonight.
Yes.
No, we have to do this to lose.
Now, they could just call up, an infinite amount of, what do you do? Call up players and sit out the good, like,
Cam,
you can't do it.
Their goaltending's too good to tank.
Look at these two.
You think Joel Hofer's going to come in and Jordan Bennington, and they're going to say, we're going to tank. We're going to give up
that number 1
tonight.
pick.
Yeah.
We want that number. No, you don't. No, they want to perform as much as they can. Everybody's thinking about themselves too. Like, goddamn, I want to score. I want to make that play. I'm showing off for Monty because I want more ice time. I'm showing off on the power play number 1 because I want to stay on the power play number 1.
Right.
Blah 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 blah. Joel Hofer wants to score goals. He's probably gonna have more fucking goals than me.
He'll have more goals than you.
Son of a bitch.
He's gonna have more goals than you in his career. He'll have more points than you too.
Oh yeah, God yeah.
I think Bennington probably has more points than you now.
Yeah, probably. What do I have?
How many points did you have? You had 6 goals. So
6
probably
goals, 8
7
assists,
points.
like 12 points.
That's 14.
14.
Is that what you had? That's not bad, dude.
You got work to do.
That's not bad.
You got work to do.
That would be hard for a goalie really to get 14 points, man.
Really?
How many do you think Bennington has in his career?
Shit, probably more than that.
And how many do you think
Marty
had in his career?
60?
No chance.
40?
No.
God, he played probably like 3 assists.
I don't know. Let's see.
Or 20, I should say. Yeah, no.
You think he had 40 points?
Yeah, he had like
You might be right. I mean, I can't say.
I could be way off on that.
And say that you're
I just
wrong.
felt like he got assist after assist after assist. Marty did.
Well, you got to have a guy on your team that can go end to end too. That like you give it to.
Scotty Gomez did all the time. He'd kick up to the wall. Niedermeyer would do it.
Yeah.
Scotty Gomez would curl around and just take the puck.
He had 45 assists in his career.
Marty did?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. What did I tell you?
You
what
said 60 is what you said.
45 ain't. How many goals he had? 3? 2?
Doesn't give me goals.
No, because it's in the playoffs. He scored in the playoffs.
Let's say Bennington.
Andy, he had 45 assists. I told you, dude.
Okay.
I told you.
Let's see. I'm going to look at some other ones here.
It's
Jordan Bennington has
how many?
8.
Ooh, he's got work to do.
Let's look at like who else would you want to see? Like Marty Turco or something?
No. Bobrovsky. He's been in the league a long time.
I mean,
or how about Patrick Waugh then?
Bobrovsky, is he known as a guy who's like great puck handler and stuff?
Oh,
like
okay.
that?
Well,
that's what I'm looking at.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. It's your defenseman.
Sergei Bobrovsky.
It's your defenseman. That just carries.
He's got 15 assists.
Pretty good. He's got more than me. Damn right. He's got more than you?
No. I was a playmaker. More of a goal scorer. But
what about Patty Waugh?
I'm looking that up right now, as a matter of fact.
Braden Shen had to walk him.
Patty Waugh's like, you're coming to Long Island.
Braden Shen had to walk in that freaking hotel room and see Patrick Waugh. You're ours now. Okay.
Pack your shit.
I'd be like, yeah. Sorry, that would have convinced me. Shit, maybe if
45, he had the same number as Marty. Crazy.
Son of a gun.
Would not have thought that.
Fucking 45 assists. That's a lot, dude.
Should I look up Belfour?
Yeah. I'm curious now.
And then I want to look up Hasek, too.
Look up the big dogs. See what they're all about.
I can't imagine Hasek had a ton, but...
Who's got the most goals?
Ed Belfour, 34.
Pretty good. How many goals? 2?
It doesn't give you goals.
Why?
On the goalie stats, it just doesn't. Did Eddie Belfour ever score a goal?
I don't know about Belfour, but not Belfour, but
Marty.
No, Flyers, tough guy.
Oh, Hextall?
Hextall did. That's what I was thinking of.
Let's look up. I'll look up him too. Hasek had 19 assists.
Not as much. They didn't have the fucking defenseman, right? What defenseman did they
who
have?
had a lot was I think Darren Pang actually had a lot of
that son of a gun.
Let me look.
Panger, if you have more points than me, I am not going to be happy.
He had 9.
Oh, woo!
But
Dang
he didn't play that long though. He had 9
Yep.
assists. He had like
How many
6 in
games?
1 year.
A couple hundred?
81.
81. But that's like 200 and.
Now look,
for a goalie.
who else did you say? I want to look up one more. Give me somebody.
Who played a long time?
Like Carey Price or something?
Who played Luongo? They had some pretty good players.
Carey Price, 13. Almost had more points than you.
No, but you didn't. But you didn't.
But
I love you,
I
Carey
gotta
Price.
confirm how many points you had because I don't even know if that's
It's 8. It's 6 and 8.
It is. Well, you said it was 12, so I want to make sure because I said 14.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, 6 and 8. You're right.
Okay. 13, baby.
Surprised
What is up? Eureka, Missouri. Let's go.
Under 1,000. Does that bother you? You didn't get to 1,000 penalty minutes?
Sure. You know what bothers me? I didn't get to 400 games. What bothers me? I didn't get to 500 games. If I would have played every game that I was up on the roster, I'd have like 600-700.
I know. I think.
Which is good for my pension.
You think they should change that?
Huh?
Games played because a lot of guys were scratches and stuff like
Oh,
that.
fuck, scratch.
And you're around it doesn't show you how long you
helps
were
my
in
pension.
the league.
Helps my it does. It says 10 years.
No, I'm saying when you have 336 career games.
Yeah.
But you were on maybe you were healthy scratch for 80 games or 60
way
games.
more than that.
Really?
Oh God. Way more than that.
You think you were a healthy scratch for more than 100 games?
Yeah.
In your career?
God, yes. God, yeah. Way more.
Well, I just think that it should reflect
Way
that.
more. Yeah, it does. It says I played 9-10 years.
Okay.
That's all I care about. And my pension is.
You have hair in this photo too.
Oh God! I'm shaving my head.
Cam had the worst haircut ever. A week ago, he had the worst.
It was. Listen to me, everybody out there. It was so god awful. I get home and my wife, who never says anything, doesn't want to bring me down unless she's mad at me for something. She's like, "Oh God." I go, "No." I go, "No." It was a lady that never cut my hair before. I had the lady that cut my hair there. And then this lady, she's asking me questions. She's looking at the receipt of last time I went in to understand. It looked like I had a bowl on my head. It was so embarrassing. And my bald spot was wrong. Then I had to work that game. And Mark Bergevin was there. Oh God.
When you had a bad haircut.
When I had a bad hair, it's not good. Mark Bergevin, Reed Simpson, all these fucking guys.
Oh, they came down afterwards.
All the chirpy who I love, and they're all huddled up, and I have to walk by them, and they're all like, and I know they're making fun of me, and I'm like, oh God, just suck it up. What? And then so I went to I went to another Great Clips, and she fixed it.
Did you tell her?
Yeah.
Did you have to pay for it twice?
She gave. I paid like $10. Gave her a $5 tip. $5. Just here, take 10.
What do you tip your hairdresser?
$10
every time.
Yeah, I spent it.
How much will you pay for a haircut?
I'm gonna start shaving my head once the season's over.
Oh, because I did an interview with Barrett Jackman on the Jumbotron.
He looked damn good.
Cam, he's got this beard going.
He looks damn good.
It's like a new beard for him.
He looks damn good. Barrett Jackman,
and
my
so
boy.
Cam sends me because I think I'm gonna get my hair cut like Barrett Jackman.
I am. I told Jax that in the locker room. I saw him.
Did you?
Yeah. I go, Jax, I'm gonna look like you, but I want to do it after the season starts because I don't want to walk in. I don't want to go into that fucking arena with a shaved head. And everybody's like, "Whoa, I can't do that. It's got to be
that's too drastic. You got to come into the season with it."
Thank you. I got to go through the summertime, get my find out my groove on how I look, get my head tan.
Tonight's Gretzky bobblehead all night.
What?
Tonight's Gretzky bobblehead all night.
Are you going to the game because it's a 6:30 game? So
is that what time it starts?
Yeah,
tonight?
6:30? Yeah.
Well, we're not doing the game, but I'm going to go and do some Jumbotron stuff. Which
with who? Am I going to be with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who you interviewing?
I think
Gretzky.
Rivs. No, he's not going to be there tonight.
So who you interviewing?
I think Rivs is doing.
Why are you doing Rivs?
I shouldn't say I think Rivs. I know it's Rivs.
What are you doing him for?
I think they wanted somebody who played in the 90s.
Oh, okay. Did he play with Gretz?
I don't Yeah, he did, because he's one of the only 3 players to ever play with, against, and be coached by Gretzky.
He was coached in
Phoenix
with him. Where did he play
I
with
don't
him?
think he ever played in a game with Gretzky, but I think he was on the team in the playoffs, apparently.
So he's a representative.
He did play 3 games for the Blues that he was like his rookie year. It was like he was young.
Yeah, 96.
So I think that was his rookie season. I could be wrong about that, but he played 3 games early in the year prior to Gretzky being traded to
So
St.
he's
Louis.
the representative.
And he
for tonight.
played some games
Just
in the playoff. Or he didn't play games in the playoffs. He was with the team in the playoffs.
did Rivs present it to you like he did play?
I think he said he's one of 3 players to ever play with, against, and for Gretzky. Are you disputing that?
That duo of Rivers and Gretzky back in the day was sick. We love you, Jamie. Can we not chirp we all love each other. That's funny though. Can I chirp on the Jumbotron, you think?
Rivs is my wingman on the road.
Can I chirp him though?
Or maybe I'm his wingman.
I don't know.
How does that work?
Don't know. Don't know. What do you mean?
He's fun to hang out with.
God, yeah. Shit,
We
yeah.
have a good time.
Are you buying him shots?
We
too?
have a good time.
And he only buys the guys in those positions shots.
And I mean,
Nobody that isn't making money. All these fucking guys, girls and guys that work their ass off on the road. They go on the road. They fucking do all these things. And you don't even think about buying them a shot. You think about the players.
I think I offered it to everybody.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Why don't you offer the whole restaurant?
And when I say we have
why
fun,
don't you offer the whole restaurant
when
a
I
shot?
say we have fun, I mean like during the shows and stuff like that, our pre and post game shows, intermissions.
You don't.
It was a nightclub in Anaheim, dude. It's a full on nightclub.
You don't need to be buying shots.
Fine.
Don't do that again.
They were in the fanciest shot glasses I've ever seen. They were like
They cost $15 a fucking
oh
pop.
my god, I couldn't.
Don't do that
I
again.
could not believe it. I wanted to go back over.
I've never seen Andy's goddamn wallet. I've never seen his wallet, and you're buying them shots.
It was a tough day.
Tough day. Jesus, Murphy.
Hey, I wanted to go ask them to pay for it afterwards.
They're probably like,
Can you put it on their
They go like this.
tab?
Get this shit out of here. They dumped it on the floor, Andy.
How dare they? That would be so disrespectful.
Why buy Bill Gates lunch?
Trump,
Buy Trump a limo.
get you a pair of shoes.
Jesus.
You know, Pavel Buchnevich bought me a tie.
Good for him.
Hermes.
Good for him.
Or he gave it to me.
Bucci.
Maybe he already owned it.
Bucci. Ooh.
He's playing great hockey.
He's like, that contract.
What's wrong with it? I mean, what if they had like? I mean, he's not making. You got to understand where the cap's going.
I know exactly where it's going. Andy.
So
I know exactly where it's
deal,
going.
and like
It's starting
if you
next
have
year.
This year.
This year it started the 8th.
Yeah, and if guys are slotted in a certain way, if you're asking him to be the best player on the team, then I got you. If you're asking him to drive the bus every night,
Well, he's
then
getting
I
paid.
got you.
He's still getting paid just like the other, like as of right now,
I
which things could
guess.
change. But I just look at it like,
But you know, like all of a sudden,
he had a tough
if
year
you
so
have
far.
some like, yeah, but he's played better,
way better.
recently,
Just like everybody
and
else.
he earned the contract with the way that he performed prior to that.
He did.
And if you all of a sudden have a lot of talent surrounding him, and now you have him slotted in a
That's true.
certain way,
He could compliment
he could
so many
like
guys.
all of a sudden you're in great shape
That's
as a
true.
team that's trying to win.
I get that. Sure. I get that.
Okay,
I get that.
I'm going to take some heat from that. People are, but if you just look at it for like what it is right now, hey, the team hasn't had a great season, and you're expecting him to be your best player and to drive the bus and get you into the playoffs and drive you into the postseason. I don't know if that's really fair
He'll be
expectation. These guys, and I put Kyrou in the same spot. These guys are great complementary players, but when you ask them to be the driver and drive the bus and be superstars,
But we know Kyra could score you 40. Like, he
He
can.
can.
God, yeah, he can. And Thomas
He
can
was-
give you 80.
and Kyrou was great against
You know.
Anaheim the other night.
He was damn good.
All right, Cam. Stiefel brings us the Cam and Strick podcast.
Hell yeah.
James Duthie on this edition. He was great, by the way.
Yeah, he's a smart man. Been in
I
the game
think
a long time.
he's the best host going. And David Amber's a great host as well. You got a lot of great ones that are out
Yeah,
there.
and he pumped Amber's.
He did. They're
tires
good
up
buddies.
pretty
They
good.
golf.
Yep.
He golfs a lot.
On different stations,
Networks.
networks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might play some golf today, actually.
We are doing it Saturday.
I might go golfing today.
Oh, where at?
I might take my clubs on the road, actually.
Well, yeah, where? Oh, yeah. No one's inviting you golfing.
How dare you?
Oh, God. First form, baby. Let's go. God dang.
Stiefel brings us the Cam and Strick podcast featuring James Duthie on this edition of the Cam and Strick podcast. Brought to you by First Form, baby. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link today. That's the link to use. They've got a new, flavor that's out for St. Patrick's Day. Have you heard about that?
Oh.
It's like Lucky Charms.
God.
I know.
I used to love Lucky Charms.
It's called,
back in the day,
look at
baby.
this, Magical...
Oh, protein.
Magical Charms.
I like it.
Magical Charms.
I like it.
I put it on my Instagram, and our link's on there if you want to go to my Instagram story, and I'll put it on Cam and Strick as well. Go to our Instagram story, use our link, and get some of that St. Patrick's Day Magical Charms. Are you kidding me? And the meat sticks, and the protein, and the vitamins, and the fruits and the greens, and the apparel.
And the lifestyle.
And the lifestyle.
And the lifestyle. You know, that's awesome. I got these new pants today.
Oh, where'd you get them?
What is that? Where do you think?
First Farm.
What do you think?
I gave you that shirt.
Yeah, I like this shirt too.
Good. It's a little small, but it's good.
Am I fat?
No, I'm just saying.
God, you always have to dig.
It fits great. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use
Let's
our
go.
link and use it today, baby.
Let's go.
Send us what you ordered, and you may be eligible to receive an autographed puck.
From Andy. Parkway North. Get on with yourself.
Blue Note Roofing, 314-920-5713. Call David Novak today.
Storms are happening. They've already killed people. Tornadoes have been killing people. I was going to text you, but you were in Anaheim. Storms in Michigan.
Oh,
God damn.
really? Tornadoes?
On the water. Smoke.
Well, if you had any hail or wind damage,
it's coming here to St. Louis.
let us know.
Actually,
David
tonight,
Novak will take care of that.
Tonight.
Are we having something tonight?
Wait, what day is it today? Tuesday. Say Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tonight.
What are we getting?
Storms are coming. Tonight.
Is my Kirkwood fence going to survive it?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass.
It should.
And does your roof survive it? I don't know. Well, David Novak could take care of you.
David Novak will take
So,
care of that.
Storms are coming. St. Louis.
314-920-5713. Today, call him, talk hockey with him. Works with all the major insurance companies. He'll take care of you. If your roof, by the way, is like 9 years old, a lot of insurance companies won't pay for it after it's 10 years or older.
Get on it then.
So get on it now so the insurance company pays for
Get
it.
on it.
That's a Cam and Strick advice for you.
David Novak, let's go.
Window World, baby. Welcome to the team.
I'll tell you this right now. I need to do god dang windows so gosh dang bad. I have so much sun that comes in my house because my house has a ton of windows. And I need new ones because it seeps out in the summertime.
Welcome
and
to the
it seeps
team.
out in the wintertime. And it costs me money.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
Okay,
I don't like it.
Welcome to the team. You know, Window World windows are one of 2 windows with good housekeeping seal of approval.
Son of a gun.
Official window of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
Preferred window of the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I see them everywhere, Window World. I see you everywhere.
And they're advertising with the Blues, man. You see it all over the place. Ranked number one in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine.
Damn right.
Number 1. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 77,000 customers.
That's
in
a lot of
St.
customers.
Louis, 56,000 in Kansas
Holy
City.
cow.
Lifetime warranty covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Window World, by the way, uses a double strength glass that gives it strength, not commodity, used in replacement windows.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Doggy.
God dang, boy. They love hockey.
Win-
Hard-working sons of guns.
Window World.
Window World. They're everywhere. You got to check them out. You need new windows coming in. This is going to be a weird-ass summertime. You need good windows. It saves you money in the end. Check out Window World. They will take care of you. I'm telling you right now.
Did you know the Blues won the Stanley Cup in the first year of their partnership with Window World?
Funny how that works.
Did you know the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in their first year of partnership
Funny
with Window World?
how that works.
Window World. Windows.
The real deal. We love you guys. What's up, baby?
You say window or window?
Windy.
Window World is now offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit.
That's it.
I
That's
just love it. If
God
you have
dang.
questions or you want that free in-home estimate, give them a call. 800-GET-WINDOWS. Or
Simple.
find them online at www.windowworldstlouis.com or www.windowskansascity.com.
Yeah.
So
Either way.
windowworldstlouis.com or windowskansascity.com if you're on the other side of the state.
Damn right.
And just if you're anywhere, just look them up and you'll see how great they are.
Window World. Speed it up, Andy.
800
Good God.
get windows.
Let's go.
800 get windows.
Jesus.
800 get windows.
There's so many things going on in his head. He's like, I haven't looked at my phone in a while. I got to get going.
Sparks Hockey, baby. Use our link, Cam and Strick. It's going to save you more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Damn straight.
I'm going to have to get my skate sharpened before this puck cancer event.
Oh, when's that?
March 22nd.
Can I get in on that game this year?
Oh, yeah. Chaser's going to let you play. Why don't you take take Steiner's spot?
He'll play.
Take Biz's spot, who I'm going to fight, by the way.
Of course. Is he coming back in for it?
Biz Nasty's coming in town.
We're going to have to do some stuff in person with some of these guys.
Oh, yeah. And he's going to get it.
You already fought him one time before.
And I'm going to go again. Because the fans are there, and you got to perform.
You don't have to steal all the attention.
I didn't last... I scored 4 goals last time.
Make it about Chaser. Right. Make it about...
Chaser wants
Garth
me
Brooks.
to turn on...
Make it a...
Time out.
Make it about...
It's about the fans that paid money. And they're paying money. And they know that we need to entertain them. That's how it goes.
What's the date?
The 27th.
Of what?
March.
Easy Tiger. Cannabis.
Oh, let's go. Get that mind right, baby.
It's a sexy, high-end cannabis brand built for people who appreciate top-shelf quality.
I know.
What do you think that means?
It means it's good stuff.
Top-shelf quality. Born in Arizona, built with intention and expanding fast. It's going to be everywhere before too long. You'll be able to get it no matter where you're at. They'll be in a store near you soon, Cam.
Good.
They don't do average. Every product, premium, curated, dialed in. It was important to be dialed, like even when you played, and like especially when I played too, you got to be dialed. Easy Tiger, about confidence, control, and elevated experiences.
Easy Tiger, baby. Let's go.
Today's episode is brought to you by Easy Tiger, premium top-shelf cannabis out of Arizona, and trust us, they don't play in the minor leagues.
Good.
Which means what?
It means they're in the show.
I love that. All their flowers, top-shelf, hand-selected, high terpene, high potency, grown for flavor, smooth smoke, and powerful effects. You gotta love that. If you're into real connoisseur flower, flavor forward, smooth, heavy hitting, Easy Tiger is built for you. Check it out, EasyTiger.com. And great selection. Great to have Easy Tiger with us.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
On board with us here on the Cam and Strick podcast. All right, spas and more.
Oh, man.
Angie Hess.
I can't wait. I was in the a steamer the other day in the alumni room after I skated with the boys, and I needed that. I can't wait to get my sauna from them, a 3-seat sauna from Spas and More. I was with Angie the other day at a convention downtown by the Dome. She is selling these damn things like god dang hotcakes. People are lined up to do business with Spas and More. Angie, she's selling the shit out of these, rightfully so. I've seen her firsthand at the job site put these pools in. The big pool with the Michael Phelps swim lap pool. They have, of course, all the hot tubs. You got, from 10, 12-seater to 8-seater, whatever you want. You got cold tubs. You got saunas. They got it all. I've seen firsthand how they put these spas in the backyard of some of these homes. It's easy as hell.
Amazing?
It takes an hour, literally. Does not take long at all. They bring a crane up, yoink, done. That's it. Spas and More.
3-generation family-owned and operated business with 2 locations.
Hell
Spas and More owner Michael Leahy has worked with Master Spas since 1996. Services 4-hour radius from each location. 15-time award-winning dealership with professionally trained in-house service and delivery teams. I love that. Master Spas is the largest and only true American-made manufacturer with no secondary factories in other countries. They do it all, Cam. Spas and More. They put the
in spa. Love you guys. Spas and More. Check it out.
All right. Cam and Strick podcast featuring James Duthie next. Enjoy.
Let's go.
The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. Thanks for doing this, though.
Hell yeah, baby.
Appreciate it. What's your schedule like? I mean, are you still doing like Sports Center and stuff like that? Is that way in the rearview mirror? Like you don't do any of that?
That's way in the rearview mirror. So I do I do all our Leaf games, which is 26.
Which is very stressful, very stressful.
Yeah. Then I do World Juniors, of course, and I'll do like the playoffs where, we don't have games since we lost the national rights, but we do like what we call a hot zone every night. So whether it's the Leafs or the Habs or the Oilers, we do pregame and then postgame, doing all the scrums and everything. And then I do some football. I do like the Grey Cup and the Super Bowl for us, and the Masters, which I'll be off to in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing World Cup this year, soccer, which, following Canada there. So I do all Canada's international soccer, and then all the other hockey stuff like trade deadline and just all the periphery hockey stuff that TSN does. So I fill it up. Some imply that I don't work, but
But the Masters has got to be pretty cool. A little different, little mellow. It's a different wavelength down there. You know what I mean? Beauty everywhere. No one's hooting and hollering. It's completely different.
I know. It's so weird. I'll go, you go from doing playoff hockey stretches. I'll do a game the night before I leave to the Masters where it's like, whatever. Last playoff spot is on the line. And then the next day, I'm like, welcome to Augusta National. The gentle breeze rolling through the pines here at Augusta. Mm-hmm. Sun Chef takes the lead on day one.
With the fake bird chirps, right? I don't think people know that.
Are those fake?
Yes.
I don't know.
On
I don't
TV
know if
they
they're
are.
fake or not. I think they must augment it somehow. I will say, for anyone who hasn't been, it is one of the coolest places in the world, but it is also strange because it's like, I almost say it's like the Truman Show. It's like they've created a world completely separate from the real world. And like I said, it's mind boggling when you walk in there. There's not a piece of, garbage anywhere. It's everything so perfect. You do see, there's a million flowers, but you hardly ever see a bee. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that thing. Like you hardly ever see an insect in there, but it's no, there are birds. I definitely have seen birds there. So there is wildlife at Augusta National.
Do you enjoy the trade deadline still? Like, is it as enjoyable? I mean, it's like, we got breaking news. Let's go to the trade desk. And it's like, Seattle's acquired a fourth line center for future considerations. And it's like, and everybody's on their phones. I mean, it used to be so big, and it still is such a big day for hockey fans. I don't think that'll ever change, but we just see so many of the good players. They all resign with their teams nowadays. Rarely are they moved unless they're on an expiring deal. I mean, we saw some good players move, but certainly not star players, So how do you look at the trade deadline?
Well, I used to hate it, I'll be frank, because we do a 9-hour TV show. We go on at 8 a.m. in Ontario time and stay on till 5. And I would be every year, like the week before, and I'd be, I have some fun on Twitter. I joke with people that I'm in the corner in the fetal position every time a trade would happen a few days before, because it'd be one less thing to talk about.
Right. So
I would kind of dread it, but I did sort of came to an acceptance a few years ago that, this is just what it is. And for the great hockey fans in the States and for the psycho hockey fans in Canada, that it's kind of a weird celebration of how idiotic we are about hockey, because you're right, Strick, there's no reason to watch this show for 9 or 10 hours when you're most of the time dealing with third liners and seventh defensemen and so on and so forth. Once in a while, a big deal will sneak in there, but I don't know. People I used to go to my bosses every year and say, guys, like, why are we not going on the air at noon? Nothing ever happens. Right now, nothing happens until about 2:30. If you were to measure the trades last week, I think there ended up being 23, 24, like 17 of them were after 3 p.m. basically the lineup in the queue at NHL Registry. So, we could have gone on the air at 2:00, but in the end, we have all of our commentators either in the studio or via satellite, some guys who I barely see all year. So I kind of take it as a cool way for me just to sit around and talk hockey with a bunch of guys I love and a bunch of guys who love hockey as much as we do. And so in that way, I've kind of embraced it. It's still a freaking long day. By 3:00, my mind is absolutely fried. And I usually say some ridiculous things. We also do some stupid skits and stuff that make it funny to pass the time. I mean, funny depends on your definition of funny. But anyway, so I kind of embrace it now, but it is a long day.
James, your bosses are like, because we can make millions of dollars by going on 4 hours earlier. That's why we go on at 8 a.m.
Come on, James. You've been in the game.
So we can afford your salary, James. Man. You know, that's why. That's why we go on at 8 a.m.
I'll go for 9 hours. What's the most chaotic deadline that you witnessed?
Oh, man. I don't know if I can, I can't remember a specific trade or anything. I'm like, back in the day when there were big deals, when guys were, one of the ones that comes into my mind is the year that Iginla was traded, and he ended up in Pitt, I think. And Aaron Ward was on our team then, and he ends up getting a hard time for this, but it really wasn't his fault. The night before the deadline, he had a contact with the Bruins, and the Bruins actually traded for Iginla. So the deal was made. Iginla was going to Boston. And so in the Boston war room or around I think they were playing that night. It went around the dressing room. Hey, we got Iginla. And so some contact called Wardo, and we were on the air at the time doing a game. And he's like, hey, Iginla's been traded to Boston. And what happened was, it's kind of like the Parayko situation in a sense. They called Iginla. So the deal was done between the GMs. Boston is all celebrating. We got Iginla. And then they called Iginla, and he had originally said, I think I'll either go to Boston or Pittsburgh. But when they called him, I think he said, I only want to go to Pittsburgh. And so I think it was Jay Feaster back then had to call Boston back and say, sorry, he's only going to Pittsburgh, and call and make a deal with Pittsburgh. And so poor Wardo got a really hard time about it because, we ended up joking around a lot because everybody says he got the deal wrong, and, TSN was never wrong back then. So it was a bit of a big controversial thing for us, but it really wasn't his fault because they had made the deal. And it bugs me, by the way, not to go on a little rant here, but I hate that the Parayko thing got out there because you're putting the player in a bad position. And, TSN was as bad as everybody else. I get up and watch SportsCenter the day of, and Colton Parayko has been traded to Buffalo. But, a trade hasn't happened until the player says he's going to wants to be traded there. And so, now he's going to get booed every time he goes to Buffalo, where that really shouldn't have come out. Not the insiders or whoever broke its fault. They're just doing their job. If they get the information, they have to report it. But, it's sad to me that a player has to get, he has a right to not waive if he doesn't want to waive. And I don't like that, people give him a hard time now for something they really shouldn't have found out.
I know. And a couple ways to look at that, because number one, everyone was pointing the finger at the team as the leak. They're all looking for the leak. I'm like, every trade is leaked. Like, somebody's leaking something. I mean, a lot of times you see multiple insiders tweeting the exact same thing at the exact same time. I mean, that tells you there's a leak. There's a lot of somebody's telling a lot of people at the same time. But in that situation, I felt bad for the player, like you're right, because it got out and it probably shouldn't have. I mean, there's more times where guys are presented with potential trades where they say no, and it never gets out. And we never hear about it. So this time we did. So I felt bad for the player. I think the team felt bad for the player. I think that's why they were angry about it, because they are adamant that it didn't come from them. And you do some digging, you kind of get an idea of where it did come from. And so I felt bad that it was pointed at certain individuals, but also the fact that it got out and the player kind of had to deal with that because he had never dealt with it before. But that's just kind of the world we live in. I was telling a story the other day, James, about how they used to have to fax it in, the GMs. They used to have to fax the trades in. And Keith Tkachuk had agreed to a trade to go to Boston. And I reported that he was going to Boston. He's hugging all the trainers outside, saying goodbye to everybody, all the staff, all the players. And the trade didn't get in time. And so therefore he never went to Boston. And so people got all over me that I was wrong about the deal. But no, he was going to Boston, and then they weren't able to get the trade in time before the deadline. So the deal was nixed and stayed with St. Louis.
There was quite, when we were on the air the other day, there was a story that one of the deals had not gotten in. And I think it must have in the end just made it by 10 seconds or something. But there was just sort of rumor going around that one of the trades was going to get nullified. And so we were kind of hanging around even at 5 p.m. because I don't remember a day where it was taking so long to get everything through. Like that Nazem Kadri to Colorado deal, I think we announced it like 4:30 or something like that, or 4:10, which has to be the latest in my memory that a significant deal was announced. The Marchand deal last year was after 3. It was probably 3:15 or 3:30. But I don't understand in 2026 technology how the league hasn't figured out a way that, it almost simultaneously somehow. They only have one guy there at the registry who's taking all the calls? Like, why is there this big long queue at the registry every year that it takes an hour to announce a deal? Shouldn't there be 30 guys there?
I know.
And so the deal happens, boom, it's there and it's done. So I don't pretend to understand the whole thing, but I don't understand why at 3 o'clock, at 5 after 3, we should know every trade that's happening.
I know. And that guy's getting a lot of attention too, who works for the Central Registry. He's all over Twitter. They got videos on him. Right. But it's interesting.
You need more than one guy, people.
I know. Shit. I know. Do you know, like the Falk deal, for example, because that wasn't announced until after the expiration of the trade deadline for him going to Detroit. Mm-hmm. But that was agreed upon, I want to say, close to an hour, maybe if not more, before the actual expiration of the deadline. So the people knew about it internally, but there wasn't a trade call, so they couldn't announce it. Yeah. So to your point, it's amazing how long it takes to get these trade calls going, and this makes you work longer. So now you're working until 3 or 4 o'clock, Yeah,
exactly. And, as for like the leaks and stuff, it comes, I think that back in the day, it was trade deadline was way more about, who got the trades and so on, and the competition between everybody. Nowadays teams announce half the trades, and if one insider has it, he has it 15 seconds before another insider.
Yeah.
But I remember like Bob McKenzie in his heyday, who to me will always be the GOAT.
Oh yeah.
Like he would break. I have had general managers tell me that they would be on the phone with the other general manager, in their war rooms, making a trade. So, just 2 random names, John and Joe, 2 GMs. All right, John, we're sending so-and-so and so-and-so to you for so-and-so and so-and-so. And James was, yeah, that's what we're doing. And so they're still talking on the phone for 30 seconds. And on the TV screen, Bob McKenzie comes up and breaks the trade. So in that 45 seconds, somebody in the room, probably an assistant GM or somebody or a director of scouting, has texted Bob the trade. And these guys are still on the phone finalizing the trade, and Bob's announcing the trade on TSN. So it's wild times for those guys. I think all those insider guys doing, our guys, Elliot, Dreg, CJ, Pierre, everybody else, they do an awesome job, because I would not want their gig ever to be attached to their phone like 18 hours a day for months, having to call everybody over and over again. I much prefer being the host that just gets to listen to all this stuff.
I like to see his screen time throughout the week and just see how many hours he has.
I think those guys are up around like 17, 18 hours. It's insane.
On the phone. But back then when you're talking about, there was no social media, so teams couldn't put it out.
Yeah.
And so teams would want to get it out, right? So they would let a Bob McKenzie know, or let somebody know locally or whatever. So it's that's where it's changed the most. I mean, from a trade deadline standpoint, I'm sure you were doing these shows pre-Twitter, right? Pre-X and pre-social media.
I think my first deadline show was 2002. I think this is like our 24th or 25th one. And you're right. Yeah, that was Twitter. Social media changed everything. The thing that also changed trade, we call it Trade Center here, it used to be just a 2 or 3 hour show. And the year that changed everything was the year that Todd Bertuzzi hit not Scott Moore, excuse me.
Steve Moore.
Who was it?
Steve
Moore.
Steve Moore.
Yes. Yep. Scott Moore was the TV exec up here. So that was the night before trade deadline. And I remember I was at home in bed, and my boss called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I tried to go to bed at 10 or 11 to get some sleep. And we were going to go on the air probably maybe 10 or something that day. And he said, Todd Bertuzzi hit Steve Moore and it's bad, and you need to come in right now. And I got to the station at 5 a.m. I think Glenn Healy worked for us then, and he got there. And we were the only 2 people there, and one cameraman showed up, and we went on live, the 2 of us. and slowly people would trickle in. So, and after that happened, they just said, well, why don't we just start it early in the morning every day? So it's all Todd Bertuzzi's fault that we now do these 10-hour shows.
So we'll blame him.
Oh man, we've had him on.
What makes Bob McKenzie the GOAT? Like and I agree with you, he definitely is. But what impressed you the most about him? Because he was so far out ahead of everybody in terms of where we are right now, and probably a big reason as to why we have trade deadline shows, and it's such a big deal to have insiders. Was there ever really an insider before him? Was he the first one?
So I think that, I mean, there's two things. I think he's the original insider, right, when it comes to hockey. And secondly, just the way Bob was able to conduct himself. Like, first of all, biased because he's one of my best friends, but he had an ability, an unparalleled ability, I think, to get information out there without it really looking like it came from anybody. And, you know, he would float things that felt like it came from him, but I always knew it had come from somewhere. And he was able to always do things without, you know, pissing teams off or pissing agents off or players off. He was just a very good communicator, and you know, was able to do all this stuff and still be very likable. And he was so, I think, revered that people would call him, you know, even in the end, Bob was semi-retired for the last 5 years, completely retired now, but I think it was 2 years ago. He wasn't even making any calls anymore, really, right? He was just there because he was Bob McKenzie, the insider. He was letting everybody else do all the work. And I can't remember what trade it was, but he broke a really big trade because they would still call him out of, you know, because Bob was the guy. Right. So we're still going to call Bob, even though he's not calling us anymore. So it was just that ability to always be the guy and to always get it right. And when I told you that Aaron Ward story, you know, Bob was sick to his stomach because TSN never got things wrong. And so, you know, that really bothered Bob that day. But again, it wasn't really, you know, Wardo just got caught in a bad situation. He was right. It's just that, again, let change his mind.
How much competition is there with the networks up in Canada? Sportsnet and TSN. Like, do you think the executives are keeping score? Like, I mean, how much pressure are these guys under to win and to break trades and beat the competition?
I mean, I'm sure it exists. I don't think it's the way it used to be. I think when Sportsnet and TSN were, you know, in the early, let's say the first 10 years of trade deadline, I think everybody really kept score as to who broke all the trades and such. Like I said, as soon as social media came around, I think being first wasn't as important anymore as being right. And, you know, I know in our show, first of all, I got a ton of friends on the other side. So you know, is there competition? I guess, but you know, Dave Amber hosts their trade deadline show, and I golf with the guy like 10 times a year. He's one of my best friends. So I don't think we think about it that way. I've never seen a second of their show. I don't think he's ever seen a second of my show because we're on the air at the same time. Right. So when it comes to our show, I think we just try to make it more about, you know, trying to be entertaining and try to give good analysis, but trying to entertain people for 8 or 9 hours. And, you know, the insiders would be a better guys to ask as to whether they're still super competitive. I'm sure they still get juice if they break a big trade. But, you know, for us, I think for the audience, it's less about that now because the information comes so fast. Yeah. And they'll decide who they're going to watch, just, you know, who they feel is more entertaining.
Whichever network we can get down here in the States.
Or, you know? I mean, like, how many insiders are there? Like, I feel like every year there's like 20 new ones on Twitter where everybody's breaking things down.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's so many. Who are you calling? Come across just because of Twitter, so I don't even know what defines one anymore. Yeah. But
no, I got you.
Guys were super hard.
I don't want to ask you who the best analyst is, but whose analysis, color commentating, who do you really enjoy listening to? Like when they're breaking it down, and I'm not talking, you know, trades and the insider stuff, but just the integral part of the game, highlights or whatever. Who's your guy that you really enjoy?
Well, you see, now I'm going to get in trouble because I got so many good guys next to me. So but I'll say that, like, first of all, Jeff O'Neill's one of the guys I work with. To me, he's one of the most entertaining guys out there.
I agree.
He's just hilarious. He's always in the skits we do, and everybody knows him from Overdrive. But O-Dog's hilarious because he'll tell you right away, like he doesn't know like the league inside and out down to prospects and fourth liners, right? He's just the guy who will have an opinion on everything. But sometimes, like St. Louis will trade some prospect to Toronto, and we're supposed to react to the trades, and I'll look over at O, and he's not on camera, and he'll be giving me the "Don't come to me on this because I have no idea who this guy is," which always cracks me up. I really enjoy Mike Johnson. To me, he's one of the smartest guys in hockey. Yeah. He's our game analyst for most of the games, and he's not in studio that often. So the fact that he's in studio on trade deadline, like he's a guy who knows everybody in the league. Craig Button's another guy who those two know everybody in the league. Mm-hmm. And so I know, because I'm no different from O. Sometimes somebody will get traded and I'll be, who? Right?
Oh yeah.
And so when Johnny's there, or when Button's there, I always know that they're going to know the guy and be able to help me out. Because years ago, there was one trade that happened before. I can't remember who even was on the panel back then, but none of the guys knew the guy who was traded. So when everybody's giving you this sign and you're supposed to analyze a trade for 5 minutes, you're in trouble. But that doesn't happen.
Break it down.
We love O-Dog, man. He's funny.
He's great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And we've had him on here, but we recently had Craig Button.
And
we just love it when guys come on and just bring the heat. Like he just
goes,
man.
Craig that's great is you got to have a guy like there's always this. I think TSN's done a really good job of having a mix of you have Cheryl Pounder, who works with us, is a really great won a bunch of gold medals for Canada in women's hockey, and she's a great analyst. Like she can break down little aspects of the game. Mm-hmm. And then you get O-Dog, who's just this massive personality, making jokes and stuff. And you get a guy like Johnny who knows the game inside and out. And then Button is your opinion guy, right? He's never going to be vanilla on anything. No. He will tell you if a GM's blown it or on a deal or whatever. So I always love just, having that kind of mix of people in there.
Craig Button will be like, "This isn't on the players. This is on the manager.
Full stop.
Get rid of the manager."
I love it.
It's
Bring
hilarious.
The heat. Anytime he's on, I listen to him. How is Toronto doing up there? How's everybody? What are they thinking about up in Toronto? I mean, everybody's talking about Berube being on the hot seat. They thought they were going to be better than what they are. Now they're losing games out the wazoo. So now they're thinking about that big pick.
Tree Living's
taking heat. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's messy. I would say that I go by, I have a bunch of golf buddies, about 30 on a group chat, and I always gauge, the state of Leafs Nation by what these guys are saying. And they've definitely gone into full tank mode, which I've never seen in 15 years. Like they want them to lose every game. And for your listeners that don't know, the only way they keep their pick this year is if it's a top 5.
Yeah.
Right. So if not, it's gone to Boston, and they don't have a pick for the next couple of years. So they've gone into trade everybody mode. But what's going to be really interesting, the pickle that they are in right now, I think this team is that the cupboards are pretty bare as far as prospects. And so, everyone's retool this, the retool word is kind of buzzy because Boston was able to do it in 1 year and now can be in a playoff position as it stands when we're talking here. But like so many retools fail. I think Boston, like almost every move they made turned out great, at least for now, and they still might not make the playoffs. And so Toronto's finally got a few draft picks. They didn't get as many as they wanted, but they finally got a few here. So now what do you do with these draft picks? If you're going to retool, then you got to kind of trade these draft picks and try and get a few players in here that'll somehow maybe turn things around because you have Austin Matthews for a couple of years and Nylander's still under contract. Or you have to go, full blow it up mode. And I do hear a lot of people saying they want to go full blow it up mode now, but it's easy to say that. Yeah. And then without really feeling what 5 or 6 years of pain's going to be like. So Yeah, I think they're in a really tricky spot because the problem this year, they just had so many players that were kind of exactly the same as far as forwards. Like you can name like 6 or 7 guys that were just kind of all the same guy. And then their D just all of a sudden went from a team, remember they were in control of that series against Florida last year and they're looking really good. And then all of a sudden their D this year, Tanev got hurt and everybody else kind of looks slow and old all of a sudden. So they're in a pickle and they're going to have some massive decisions to make as far as, whether they change the GM, change the coach, and exactly how they handle. I mean, are Austin and if they're going to suck for the next 2 years, what does that mean for Matthews and Nylander? So
right. They may want to get out.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Hey, once you strip it down, it's hard to get it back, James. You know what I mean? Like it takes some time. The
other thing is rebuilds don't always work, right? No. Like everyone's like, well, 5 years and then you're a cup contender again. Well, a lot of teams do rebuilds and then they never get to that stage and then they have to do it again. So yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, you better rebuild when and get the first overall pick when McDavid's coming into the league, or draft Makar or get Nathan McKinnon. But you may have the first overall pick the year that it's Nico Hischier. It may be Eric Johnson. You know what I mean? Like Yakupov. You just never know. Taylor Hall. You just never know what year you're going to be in that situation. And the players that everyone looks at and they say, well, you need a Barkov, you need a McKinnon, you need a Crosby, a McDavid. Well, those guys don't always come around, to be honest.
Well, look at like Edmonton went through back when we used to do the draft. When we had the rights, we used to do that draft lottery every year. And it was, I remember every year, it's like Steve Tambolini would be in there winning the draft lottery. And he was almost sheepish about it by the end because they won, I think, the Taylor Hall year and the Nugent Hopkins year and then the Yakupov year. And it was just getting stupid.
Yeah.
And all those, they never really became a cup contender until they won the McDavid one, right? So you're so right. It's so much timing and so much luck and everything else and all the decisions you make. So I don't know. Like I said, Toronto, they better be content that they have the right people in place to do whatever decision they make. I mean, this could be a bad year. You could change 3 or 4 players and suddenly be a playoff team again. I just feel like they're a long way from it right now.
Yeah, nothing against Hischier or Eric Johnson.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Those guys.
We love all those
guys. Had Hischier's having a great career, and EJ certainly did.
Well, the standards to this, we had this run that changed the standards of the first overall pick, where you had a bunch of guys who were, ridiculous.
Patrick Kane,
McDavid and Matthews, and even going back to like Sid and Ovi, probably changed the whole definition of what a first overall pick should be. And you're right, like Ryan Nugent Hopkins has had a great career. Eric Johnson had a great career.
Yeah,
but first overall, the expectation is you better be a franchise changer and win 3 cups, and it's just not going to happen for most of them.
I know. When you see the Mitch Marner situation go down and like he's battling with the fans and he's talking about having the security outside of his house and all that, like you're there, how do you react to that? Like, do you feel bad for the player? Do you think the player's being dramatic? Like, is it that hard to play in Toronto? And if it is, like, why is it like that? And how can we adjust to the people, at least the people there who cover the team, to make it a little more comfortable for these guys to want to stay and then come back and re-sign?
Well, my answer to that would be everybody takes things differently. So I'm not going to make light of Mitch Marner getting death threats or people, finding his address out and things like that. I think that the market can wear on you, I suppose. And your victims are your own expectations, I think, in this market where those guys were so good in the regular season. And then every year when the playoffs failed, these sort of angst of fans sort of built and they need to project it onto somebody. I think it was probably the right time for him to go, for the team to go, even though they were a worse team without him this year. But to the bottom line answer to your question, I don't think it should be a hard place to play. I don't think it should be at all. If you win here, you're loved forever. They're very well taken care of here. They're all, sort of gods and superstars on the streets here. So I think that's, people who say, just because there's a few more cameras in the media, that, there's a couple of sports networks that are based here. I just think, so what do you have to do media 2 or 3 times a week? Is it that hard to step in front of the cameras and such? Right. Yeah, maybe you get dumb questions. I think you get dumb questions in every sort of market. I think you have to have the right personality like some guys it would wear on after a while. I can see if you're here for 10 years and you get sick of the massive scrums and the same questions every year. But there's a simple answer to that. That would be win, right?
Yeah, no shit.
And you don't have to deal with any of those things. So I still think it would be a great market to play hockey in. And, most of the guys that come here embrace that. It's just, I guess for some, it's, it'll never be the right place. I've the players that I've talked to sometimes that, that it was after a while they've left and gone somewhere else where there's only 2 reporters that come to practices, and maybe that's refreshing for a year, but after a while they usually miss it.
Yeah,
most guys want to play in great hockey markets. St. Louis is one of them. They're not just because Toronto, Montreal are a little bit over the top just with the sheer amount of volume, but there's a lot of great hockey markets where people love and care about hockey. I don't think Toronto's that much different that way.
James, I just got back in town. Like San Jose is packing the house again. It's a great place to watch a game. You know what I mean? With
practices.
With Celebrini there.
One guy can do though, right?
One guy. Yes.
And that guy, by the way, I was fortunate enough to host the Olympic panel for hockey, and we had a great set. It was only like 10 rows above the ice, and to watch that, I've never seen a guy be able to play with McDavid that quickly and naturally.
Yeah,
man, it was just something to behold, because that was such a problem even at Four Nations, and even the Oilers. Obviously, Draisaitl and him are great when they play together, and Hyman's great with McDavid, but in a different way. But I'd never seen a guy skate like McDavid, think like McDavid so quickly, right? And for this at 19 years old is insanity.
Yeah, and he not only did he kept up, but he wasn't overthinking anything. You play with a McDavid, you're trying to probably pass to him a little too much. No, he shot when he needed to. He passed when he needed to. He forechecked when he did. But let me ask you something. As a Canadian, and I know all your buddies who your golf buddies, like, what are they saying about the Olympics? What are they saying about Team Canada? Are they complaining about anything? Are they complaining maybe Schaefer could have been on that back end and provided a little bit more speed? I mean, what are they saying?
Yeah, there was a little bit of that, I think. Schaefer in particular was particularly when Morrissey got injured. Yeah. I think that was a bit of a hole there. But, you lose in overtime in the gold medal game. I think it's such a useless game to play too, because you'll never know, right? We'll never, maybe Schaefer, I think Schaefer probably would have been good there, but we don't know. Maybe Schaefer would have made a mistake in 3-on-3 overtime in quarterfinals against the Czechs and coughed up the puck, and Canada would have been out in the quarters. And then everybody would have been saying, why did you bring an 18-year-old defenseman to the Olympics? So I sometimes feel like that's the silliest game to play. I think Canada, it was in mourning for a few days afterwards. But the thing I kept hearing over and over was, what a great tournament it was. And it was awesome. And, probably to me, the best hockey I've ever seen in my life. I thought that game was one of the greatest hockey games I've ever seen in my life. I'm a Canadian. I wanted Canada to win, but I was happy for the Americans. And I'll tell you one thing, like some of the controversy stuff really bothered me. I don't want to get involved in politics at all here, but I think they had a right to celebrate whatever way they could. And the one thing, the joke about the women's team, the president told, and that was all kind of unfortunate. But Quinn and Jack Hughes, I went to the women's gold medal game, and I was there as a fan. I wasn't working. And so when the Americans won in overtime and Megan Keller scored the goal, I watched them celebrate for about 30 seconds. And then I ran out of the building to try and get an Uber back, because we had, I think, the semifinals the next day. And I noticed these 2 guys in hoodies kind of running behind me, going to the same spot, and got there and realized it was Jack and Quinn Hughes. And they were bouncing off the walls at the fact the women had won this game in overtime. Like, they were so legit excited. Because I remember saying to Quinn, man, that was what a goal. I was talking about his goal the night before in the quarters against Sweden. And he's like, oh yeah, that Megan Keller is amazing. And I'm like, no, I mean your goal, Quinn. Yeah. And he goes, oh, I'm old news now, right? Yeah. So it bothered me that, that became a thing, because I saw how pumped those guys were to watch their women's team win the gold medal. So, kudos to the States. Great for them. They'll be heroes forever. And maybe we'll get them in 4 years.
Yeah. Well, what about, I'm glad you said that, because I completely agree with you too. But what about like, when Matthews goes back to Toronto, Damian Cox, right side article, the big headline. I don't know if he wrote that headline. Sometimes the writers don't write that, but
That
you got
happen
Austin
a lot.
Matthews. He's coming back to Toronto, and all of a sudden he sees that. It's like, good God.
Well, one thing what bothers me is, you'll hear the Canadian media. So whenever people say that, it's just like, no, we're not one giant entity, some big being, right? There's a million people that write different things, and there's a lot of things I don't agree with that people write. I'm sure people don't agree with things that I say sometimes. So I hate the big labels of the way things are, but I didn't like that column at all. I think I was very happy for Austin Matthews that he won a gold medal. I was happy for all those guys that they won a gold medal, and they deserve, like I said, it's especially guys who never won a Stanley Cup, to have that moment, good on them, and, go to all the Miami bars and, celebrate whatever way you want to celebrate, because it's you may never win anything else, and that might be the highlight of your hockey career, right? So I thought that stuff was a little bit silly.
Yeah, well, hockey fans and the young kids, like, they grow up now. They grow up watching you, like, even in the States, and they grow up watching TSN and seeing you guys, so it's like all of a sudden we get to the Olympics and whatever, it creates this division. Yeah. Which I think is probably a little bit confusing to, like, the younger generation of hockey fans. But, you had Wayne Gretzky on the set. You asked him a question. It got a ton of attention. He obviously respects you. I know you have a lot of respect for Wayne Gretzky. Is that something you talked to him about prior to that, hey, we're going to get into this? Or lead me to knowing, like, kind of how that went down when he was on the set and you kind of asked him about his allegiance to Canada, whatever the question was.
Yeah, so he came by the set maybe an hour before he was supposed to come on, just to say hi, as he always does. He's, always been one of the friendliest guys ever. He's good friends with Bieksa, who was on the thing. He was kind enough to write the foreword for, I wrote a book called The Day I Almost Killed Two Gretzkys many years ago about, it was a story about, Wayne invited me up to his golf tournament he had up here in Collingwood, Ontario, and I almost hit both Wayne and his dad within the same round with golf balls. So I love it. Would have been that would have been quite a way to define your career. But so, I've known Wayne for a long time, and I knew we were going to have 6 minutes with him on the interview, but it was also really close to game time. And I did not want to make, a big political thing a few minutes before the semifinal. At the same time, it had been an issue in Canada for the better part of the year, and Wayne really hadn't commented that much on it, which he didn't have to. So in the conversation I had with him there, I said, I think I should ask you about this. And he said, no problem. And so we talked about hockey for 5 minutes, and I barely really didn't ask him a question. I essentially said, is there something you'd want to say? And I thought what he said was great. So, people on one side were upset that I asked him a question. People on the other side were upset, saying, either that he shouldn't have been on or that I should have grilled him harder. And so I think if both sides are upset at you, you probably did your job okay. Yeah. Which is, I felt the responsibility, and Wayne had no problem with it. And so that was that. Like I said, people can think whatever they want. Honestly, I just, it didn't bother me for 1 second. And then I know Wayne's fine with me, and people can think whatever they want.
That's all that matters, man. Yeah. But what about the rumors? And I know, Mike Commodore came out and talked about Gretz wanting to maybe give a little pump-up speech or read the lineup before the gold medal game.
There was no truth to that. I think there was some sort of, anybody I think who knows Wayne Gretzky knows he loves Canada. And I saw the intensity about, when we were chatting with him before that interview, all we were talking about was hockey and, analyzing the team and what he thought. I don't think, I've never personally had any doubt that, that he cheers really hard for Canada. he's lived in the States for a long time. He's got an American family and American kids and American grandkids and everything else. But no, I think that was disproven pretty quickly that they would never ban him from the dressing room. That's just silliness. Some security guard or something wouldn't let him down. I think that was a thing. So
right,
he doubled down,
which is crazy too. That
it's all crazy. That's why I asked.
But he's not.
The security guards in Italy, you have to understand, like they have these guys, they're all like volunteers who have probably never watched a hockey game before. So
James, this isn't like at Madison Square Garden where they wouldn't let Patrick Ewing in, you know. One time they wouldn't let Patrick Ewing in. He's like, my jersey's hanging from the He's like, my jersey's hanging from the rafters.
He's like, I'm right there.
Patrick Ewing, that's my jersey.
No, I don't think that would never happen in Canada or the States, but over in Italy, there were quite a lot of people working the Olympic Games that I'm sure had no idea who any of the hockey players were, which I think I love. Like, I love that when we went downtown, the couple of days I had off, I went downtown Milan, and there's a Duomo down there and an area, shopping area, a lot of tourists down there, but it was really cool to see. I went down, and within 5 minutes, I saw Tom Wilson was with his family, and Brad Marchand was with his daughter, and a whole bunch of the players, Seth Jarvis and all his buddies. And, the odd person would come up to them, the odd Canadian or American, but for the most part, people were just leaving them alone. Nice. And then Shaquille O'Neal walked by, and he's a little bit harder to miss. So he had a crowd of people running after him, but the hockey players were pretty much left alone, and I think they loved it.
Was that one of the most beautiful places you've been to? And how was the food and pasta compared to really good Canadian American pasta? Like, can you tell a difference?
Well, my wife loves Italy, so I've been to Italy a lot. Milan's really nice. Not my favorite. Like, there's some really beautiful places in Italy. Lake Como is probably my favorite.
Oh God,
Rome is beautiful. Florence, but Milan's very nice city. The biggest stress. So I was covering Super Bowl in San Francisco and flew straight over to Milan and sort of got there, hit the ground running with the hockey. And we were doing, everybody was watching the Canada-US games, but we were doing Elliot and Bieksa and myself and Cheryl Pounder and Cassie Campbell were doing all of the games basically. So all the, the Latvia, Switzerland games and everything too. So we were at the rink from 11 a.m. to midnight every day. And the food at the rink was god awful. I don't know why this happens at the Olympics, but the concession stands, maybe because the arena was finished about a week before, but it was like just garbage sandwiches and chicken nuggets and stuff. And so people kept texting me from home, asking me the same question you just did, Cam. People were like, how's the food? And I did not eat Italian food until the 8th day. And Kevin and Elliot and I got out to a pizza joint at lunch when we got the early game off. And so I was struggling for a while, but we finally did get a couple of good meals, and it was excellent. There are excellent restaurants in Milan. And I think the last night after the gold medal game, I went out with Bieksa and Mike Johnson and Kevin's wife, and that was a tour de force meal. I can't remember. I wish I could plug the restaurant, but it was awesome.
Kenny Albert was telling us that too. Like they're working every night. He didn't go out for dinner until like the second to last night, or maybe the last night that he was there. They never had an opportunity. So like, you're working a lot when you go there to the Olympics. I know it's like in a great place and whatever, but are you constantly working, and are you hosting other stuff outside of the hockey for TSN?
In this Olympics, I wasn't. Like, I have done Olympics where I've hosted in Canada and, hosted the Olympics per se, where you're throwing to all the different sports. In this case, I was just hockey, which was a treat for me because when you are hosting an Olympics, and much admiration for, the Mike Tarikos down there and the Ron McLeans and Andy Petrillos up here, you have to know a lot. Like I found myself studying like I'm studying for the bar exams, right? Because you want to know every friggin' biathlete from some foreign country that you don't know and learn all the rules to these sports as well. So for me doing this when it was just hockey, I mean, that's kind of my wheelhouse. So it was a lot more fun just to be able to sit and watch hockey games. But I do find it's weird. I had no idea what was going on in the Olympics because we were just at the rink all the time watching the games. And I'm usually, if I'm not working in Olympics, I'm a bit of an Olympic geek. I watch it all the time. I love it. Yeah. The stories are so great. And I had no idea what was going on. I'd hear through the grapevine that Canada won a medal or something here and there, but this is probably the least Olympics I've ever watched, and I was at the Olympics. So, most hockey I've ever watched in Olympics, probably because I watched every second of every game, but didn't see anything else.
What's your take on the curling controversy?
This
guy's like,
he's like cheating curling, okay?
He's like, fuck off, eh?
Oh, he did give it a little pokey too. And then all the memes came out with the poke.
I don't know.
Oh.
I got to give you a completely terrible answer because I don't know curling, but the 2 curling people I talk to say, if this stuff happens, like it happens all the time, or it was not it's not cheating, or they didn't know they were doing it, or they did it before the line or whatever. I don't know, but Canadians get up in arms when we get accused of cheating, buddy. Those guys are good curlers, so you back off, right? Back off.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, it just entertains me.
In hockey, just
I don't give a shit.
Don't accuse us of cheating in curling.
I wanted to see them like throw it out.
I know.
Like I thought he was going to.
So funny.
He was like, I loved him. The
Like,
microphones caught it.
Well, I think basically, again, I'm probably going to have terrible misinformation because I really don't know much about curling, but from what I understand, like everybody all the curlers thought this was nothing, but whatever, the Swedish team or something, they decided it was a big deal. And so they got them to put the cameras there to make it a big deal, when to most of the curlers, it wasn't a big deal. So that's what I heard.
Hey, what's the second most popular sport in Canada? And Gretzky always tells us like lacrosse right? is the most popular, but like what television sport? Like what are people really paying attention to?
Well, NFL is probably like NFL is massive in Canada. Mm-hmm. CFL is really popular here too, but I would say the Jays are super popular. Obviously, that they're good. They're now that they're good again. I think if you were just to look at purely at ratings, that hockey's obviously number one, but that probably NFL is second. The others, like I said, baseball does really well. I think the Jays Game 7 of the World Series was one of the highest, most watched TV events ever in Canada. And, but yeah, probably is. I mean, curling is super popular for sure, but it's not like everybody. It's still a niche sport to an extent. It's not like everybody curls here.
UFC, pretty big up there.
Yeah. I think mostly, I don't think Canada's much different from the States as far as what young men and women are watching. Golf's big. I mean, I'm a massive golf guy, so I know the Canadian Open up here is always super well attended. There's tons of, I think in some ways, I think we love golf more than Americans because the season's a little shorter at least in most provinces. And so, man, we're crazy about, and I'm psycho. Like I said, if there's snow, if I can turn this around, you'll still see snow on the ground outside. Wow. And my buddy has a tee time tomorrow at some course near Hamilton that is, we'll play in toques and, there'll still be snow on the ground and we'll be playing golf because our season is shorter. So yeah, the Masters obviously does, all the majors that we have on TSN do as well, I think in Canada as they do in the States. So I don't think it's really much different. I always tell people, TSN Sports Center, it's the same thing. It's just there's a lot more hockey, basically.
Mm-hmm. I love it. When we're in Canada and turn on Sports Center,
love it.
It's like nonstop hockey highlights.
It's not about LeBron. It's about hockey, which is great.
Oh my God! It's amazing.
We get annoyed down here.
Like we are nuts, and that's what nuts in the greatest way possible.
That's why we love you.
So let's go back to the beginning of the conversation. Why would you have a 9-hour show on trade deadline?
Exactly.
Because we're insane, right?
Because people will watch it.
Yeah.
I did. And you can make a lot of money putting on that type of show. But listen, if Bob McKenzie's the GOAT of the Insider, like you're really the GOAT of the hosts. You know what I mean? I mean, people know you as what makes a great host? And what are you, I feel like you could host a talk show.
Anything.
You know what I mean? Like you should just have like a late night show with like hockey players and just people would watch that. Then you wouldn't have to do the trade deadline and all that. You should have like the Today Show or like the Tonight Show at night and just have a hockey player and do like an hour-long talk show. What makes a great host?
Well, first of all, I don't think I'm the GOAT of anything, but I appreciate you saying that. There's a lot of great hosts up here. But that's kind of was my dream. The reason I used to watch when I was in high school, the original David Letterman, back when it was on NBC.
Oh, yeah.
And I think when people always ask me, who are your greatest influences, right, as broadcasters? And I'll throw Costas out there because I remember I was a big NFL guy, and that's when he was hosting NFL Today or whatever it was. And I always thought he was really good. And I always thought Nance was great. But my biggest influence was probably David Letterman, because I would watch that show faithfully. Even when it first started, it was like a morning show, and then went to like 12:30 on NBC. And that's when I fell in love with it. And he probably influenced me. If you watched all the dumb skits we do, I probably stolen more stuff from him than anybody else. So that was kind of a dream for mine for a long time to do something like that. It's we've had a couple of like late night talk shows in Canada that I've guested on that haven't lasted very long. It's kind of hard to compete with the budgets of the Jimmy Kimmels and Jimmy Fallons and such in the States. But
you should do it. Hey, didn't Michael Landsberg used to do a show like that?
Yeah,
What was his show called?
Dude, he called out
Off the Record. Unbelievable show.
He'd have all the WWE guys on and fucking bash them right in front of their face.
Yeah, Landsberg was great because he would always play the role of the adversary, right? Just to fire guys up.
Oh man.
And yeah, because he had wrestlers, and then later on, I guess he had, MMA guys on. Yeah. I thought he was very, very good at his job because he was not afraid. He would like poke the bear. I think I'm probably too polite and such to be a good talk show host. I'd be boring, I think, in a way.
We just pitched the idea.
We did. There's money to be made.
We want to do a pilot and make this happen. What haven't you done that would be on your bucket list?
Somebody asked me that the other day, and I this is a sad thing to say, because I've been like, if I'd have started off, if you'd have met little me, let's say when I was in journalism school, I would have said my dream would be to do, cover Stanley Cup finals. And I've gotten to do that. And then I would have said to go to the Masters. Like, I remember watching the Masters when I was a kid growing up in Ottawa and thinking, man, I'll never get there, let alone get there to actually cover the thing. And I got to play it once and won that lottery, which was unbelievable. So
you did?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by
lottery?
That?
Oh, so
you won the lottery?
Every year. So I didn't mean to just drop that in as a little drop. So every year, about 20 guys win. There's a lottery that all the media at the Masters can go in, and I think about 20 people win and get to play on Monday, and you play with the Sunday pins and everything.
Oh.
You play off the club tees, which were basically the same tees when Tiger won in '97, but obviously with technology, they've moved back a lot now. So it's actually a very playable golf course from those tees. But the most nervous I've ever been in my life. So I won the year that Danny Willett won, when Spieth put 2 in the water on 12, and got to play on the following Monday. I've never been more nervous standing on a first tee, and never will again in my life. So
because they're all watching you, and were you like, I don't want to duff the ball or just mess the grass up a little bit because it's so perfect.
It was just perfect. It was just, plus it was April. And back then I wasn't quite as psycho as I am about golf right now. Like, I wasn't going to the simulator twice a week. And so I literally pulled my clubs, put the clubs on the shelf like early October, pulled them off and took them to the Masters thinking maybe I'll win this thing. And I happened to win that year. So I hadn't swung a golf club in about 5 months. And we went to, they give you this beautiful invite, and you go down Magnolia Lane and you go to the range.
Oh, man.
And I literally hit 2 balls, and they said, we're ahead of time. You have to go right to the tee.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't the ideal position, but it was one of the favorite days of my life.
I love how you show up to the Masters with your golf clubs, not even knowing if you're going to play. Like, hey guys, I'm here to cover the tournament.
And there was a thing like, if you win, you can't play for 7 years or something.
Okay.
And almost everybody on my crew had already won. So you start to do the math. There's a lot of guys that don't play, that you start to think the odds were actually kind of 50-50 that I was going to get to win at some point here. So that's when I think I brought my clubs 2 or 3 years in a row and won maybe the second or the third year.
What's your handicap?
I think I'm a 9 now, something like that.
Solid.
Back then though, I was probably a 13 or something.
This guy.
Double.
So okay, I'm going to ask you like I never asked these questions. But first off, I want to know who the best hockey player you played golf with. Number one. And then number two, like, what would be your golf foursome, James, as I dive into the stupid questions that people ask? But now you're a golf guy. I'm curious who you'd want to play golf with.
I haven't played with a lot of players. Like Jeff Odog's a really good golfer.
I can see that.
So he
must smash the ball.
Frankie Corrado just destroys the ball. By the way, he's another analyst I love listening to. He's like up and coming superstar
like
at TSN. Like the next sort of Mike Johnson, Ray Ferraro is Frankie Corrado. And Frankie has 2 young twin daughters, so he doesn't get to play as much right now. He destroys the golf ball. We did a match last year. It was kind of like the Biz and the Boys Sandbaggers up here, but it was me and Brendan Gallagher against Odog and Nazem Kadri. They won, but there was some controversy, let's just say. But so I really enjoyed playing with Gallagher that day, but I haven't played with a ton of NHL guys. As for the dream foursome, this is going to sound hokey. I'm not trying to be like, but I always said, I never met my grandfather, who was he had a radio show and was apparently a real character. He died before I was born. So I always say, like, my son, who's a really good golfer now, my son's 25. My dad, who was a terrible golfer, he's passed away now. I think he golfed once in his life, and was just to satisfy me. He took me out when I was like 14, and my granddad. So that would be my dream foursome. Probably because I know I'd at least come second, because my granddad didn't play and my dad sucked, but my son would beat my ass. As for, I don't know what it would be for, I don't know what it would be for like a real life foursome. Like if you could put anybody in there, I don't know who I would choose, because like it would be easy to say Tiger Woods or Jordan Spieth or, guys that I admire in golf, but I always find I've played in some of the pro-ams before. So I've played with pro golfers before, and they're pretty boring guys, right?
Exactly.
I think it would be more fun to play with, comedians or something that would
Barkley.
Entertain. Like Barkley would be great, or, even I haven't played with Biz. I love Biz. Guys like that would be a super entertaining. I'd more just be out with guys to make me laugh than anything else.
Yeah, just entertain me.
We're winding down, but I want to ask you
it.
this, because Cam said he was going to ask you, and he hasn't. So I'm stealing this question from Cam, because I want to get your take on it. But what would the fans prefer there? Like, would they prefer the Canadian men's team win the gold medal, or the Leafs win the Stanley Cup? Like is it by far and away the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup? Would that be a bigger deal?
Are you talking about Toronto? Well, yeah. I mean, 3/4 of the nation would not want the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup, right? There's the crazy thing about Canada is that you're either the passionate Leaf fan or you hate the Leafs mostly. I don't think there's any gap. I'm one of those neutral guys in the middle where honestly I don't care. But for Toronto fans, they would take the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. I think it's fair to say we've won our fair share of gold medals.
100%, yeah.
So I think they would want to. I think basically every market in Canada, it's been so long, would say, like, Senators fans, Jets fans, Flames fans, Canucks fans, Habs fans. Everybody would, Oilers fans, they'd all say the same thing. They'd want a Stanley Cup more right now, because they got 2002 and they got 2010, they got 2014. And as much as it would have been great to win this one, I think they're all so starving to win a Stanley Cup, and whatever the first Canadian team that finally wins one after this forever drought, that fan base will have bragging rights for a while.
That wasn't my question, no. My question was, would the fans rather the Toronto Maple Leafs be in the playoff mix and have a pretty damn good team throughout all year and be very consistent, or win the Olympics?
He changed it.
No. That's exactly what I said. That's what my question
Leaf
is.
fans, no, I think they'll take the Olympic gold down.
Over that.
I don't think they had a few years. I mean, they had a good team for 10 years that just couldn't get past the second round. So I don't think I think it would be Stanley Cup or bust at some point.
You should have stuck with the first one.
Yeah, because that's an obvious.
You tried to switch it.
That's an obvious answer.
Hey, last thing what was your big break? Like, I'm curious, like how you, like, was there a moment in your career that just completely changed everything for you?
Well, there's
a
long answer to this, which I won't give you. The shorter answer is probably just the break at TSN. And it's funny. I was working as a local reporter in Ottawa, and Keith Pelly, who is now under the gun running the Maple Leafs and ran the European Golf Tour before he came to Toronto, was then running TSN. And the night that the Senators rink opened, so I guess the opening night when the Senators moved into that rink in Canada, I was doing a live hit for the local TV station and just did like a tour of the dressing room, one of these Live at 5. Let's join James Duthie on the scene. Hi, Max. I'm down here in the center of the dressing room. Look how cool it is. That kind of thing. But for whatever reason, I think Keith Pelly saw this, and my phone rang about a week later. And I remember he said what sounded like the creepiest thing ever. He said, "Is James?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I saw you on TV the other day. I liked your jeans." And I'm like, "What?" And I think the fact was I was wearing jeans in the hit, and I was wearing jeans and like a dress shirt and a jacket. Mm-hmm. And I think he really liked that this casual look instead of like the tie reporter. So that's the first thing he noticed, which is like the weirdest thing at all to notice. And Keith is not creepy at all, but it just sounded creepy when he said that. Mm-hmm. And then he asked me if I wanted to come down for an audition, and he didn't actually hire me for this. Somebody internally they gave the job to, but he said, "I'd like to hire you someday." And I took a job out in Vancouver and was moving out there. And I said, "I'm going out to Vancouver. Call me in a couple of years or whatever." And they called me in 6 months and offered me the job at TSN. So that was probably the break, I think.
Love it. Hey,
those jeans, baby, were they Wranglers?
They probably were Wranglers, judging by what year it was.
Hey, before we let you go, what promote your books? I know you've got like books galore. You got books out. You had kind of like a newer book within the last 18 months or so, right?
I don't know how much you can see. You see, I have product placement in the background.
Yeah, baby, I see it.
Where you tell all the different stories.
I'm not saying this to suck up, but one of my laments is that I did not get a story from Cam in either one of these books. So when there's a Beauties 3, I wrote a book called Beauties about 5 years ago during COVID. And the idea was that just to tell, Cam's a perfect example. Hockey players, when people say hockey players are boring, I'm always like, no, they're not. Like, all hockey breeds, I think, the greatest stories there are in sports. And so I said, instead of just, you read an autobiography or somebody and there's like 3 or 4 good stories in there, but the rest of it is, I grew up in some small town and all this stuff that you already knew. So I said, what if you could just do a book that is only good stories? So essentially my thing would be, I'd call players and say, just tell me your favorite story that you guys tell when you're having beers together or whatever. I don't care if it's on the ice, off the ice, wacky teammate. Just tell me your favorite hockey story. And that was the premise for the book, and ended up writing a follow-up this year called Certified Beauties. And hopefully we'll do another one at some point, which Cam will be in.
Yeah, but, I got some for you. I can do a couple chapters.
Sure, I know you do. I've heard you enough on your pod and other pods. And like I said, sometimes it's just, somebody tells you to talk to somebody else, and suddenly you've got 100 people still on your list that you haven't gotten to.
Yeah. I got you, man. Let me know.
James, you're the best,
man. You're the man.
Appreciate you
doing this. Keep working hard.
Thanks for having me on, boys. Take it easy, and good luck to the Blues. Maybe they can make some crazy run here, whatever.
They're not out of it.
They're not out of it yet.
Take care of my boy Robbie Thomas. He lives. His family lives about 3 minutes away from me. So I can't believe that somebody didn't pay up for that guy if he was truly available, because I think he's going to be that would have been I don't know, for like a Montreal or some team that's just in the window. Get a 26-year-old first line.
Are you in Aurora? Are you in Aurora? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, that's where I live. Yeah.
I love it. No, Robbie's our boy, and his dad Scott's the best. So it's like we
root for him.
We take care of Robbie. And
right.
And listen, all of a sudden he got through the trade deadline. This guy's been unbelievable the last 3-4 games, back at the level we've seen from him throughout.
I was at Robbie's Stanley Cup party in his backyard, which was a scene, by the way. But my favorite part about it was the cup was full of chocolate chip cookies. And, they were delicious chocolate chip cookies. That's what I love most about that Stanley Cup party. Anyway, boys, thanks for having me on.
You're the man, James. We'll see you, buddy. Be cool.
All right, James. Thank you so much.
See you, buddy.
That was James Duthie.
Great guy, man. Knows his stuff.
Loved it, man.
Love him.
He is awesome.
Yep. Love getting these guys on.
Yes.
Love picking their brain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that stand out the most in terms of what you really appreciated?
I like how he defended Austin Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
I did. And how he kind of chirped a little bit like, hey, no, I didn't like that article when you got your captain coming back to Toronto after he winning and hanging out with the president and whatnot, which he rightfully should do, and celebrating with his teammates. They agreed to that, and then you win, and then you got to go back to Canada, and I don't think he got treated well. And I think James did a good job of presenting that.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. So that's pretty good, Cam. I like how you said all that.
Thank you. Let's go. God, you're unorganized as fuck. You are. Figure it out. You are unorganized.
The Cam Strick
Get going.
Podcast is brought to you by Stiefel.
Let's go, baby. Stiefel, we love you guys. God dang, boy. God dang.
Built on success, baby. Stiefel brings us the Cam Strick Podcast each and every week. Firstform.com/Cam Strick. Use our link and use it today. Check out the magical charms in time for St. Patty's Day.
Had a good protein shake this morning. Woo, doggy. Every morning.
Yeah.
Every single morning, especially when I skate. Man, oh man. Gotta have it. Creatine too.
Sparks Hockey, baby. Use our link and use it today. Use our promo code Cam Strick. It'll save you more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Don't lose an edge and don't have you-know-who sharpen your skates. Just ruin everything for you. Easy Tiger. Smooth, high-quality cannabis to take your game to the next level. Soon to be in a store near you, nationwide.
Hell yeah, baby. Easy Tiger. Dang right.
Window World.
Best in the business.
No surprise, their first year in business, the Blues won the Stanley Cup, and the first year in business, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Funny how that works.
Isn't that amazing?
They do a damn good job. Save money. Get new windows. You'll save money when you're heating and cooling. Trust me on that.
Yeah. Window World products not only are durable, offer security, beauty, and energy efficiency, baby. Get that free in-home estimate today. Call them at 1-800-GET-WINDOWS. Or find them online, www.windowworldstl or windowworldstlouis.com. 800-GET-WINDOWS, windowworldstlouis.com. 800-GET-WINDOWS, windowworldstlouis.com.
Damn right.
Blue Note Roofing. Call David Novak today, 314-920-5713.
Storms are coming.
Spas and more. Our girl Angie
What's
Hess.
up, girl? Sound like hotcakes. Let's go. Get one in. Get one in. It'll change your life. In spa. We love you, Spas and more. Love all you guys, by the way.
Saunas, hot tubs. They got those incredible Michael Phelps hot tubs.
Yeah, hot tubs, and they got the swim machine, too.
Best hot tub dealer ever.
I've seen how they put them in. It takes 2 seconds. Trust me on that. Give them a call. Look up online, Spas and more. Check them out.
Yeah. All right. This has been the Cam Strick Podcast. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Always.
Love you guys.
Cam, have a great rest of your week.
Thank
okay.
you. Yeah, you too, Andy.
Okay.
Jesus.
Hey, sorry we're a day late, by the way.
Yeah, it's because of Andy. You know, it's because of Andy. Always.
See you next
That's why
week.
I'm a good partner. See you, dudes.
Subscribe and follow.
Love you guys.
Yerk! Let's go! Cam's a shit kicker, 2 bombs in the lead. Soul Dragon Cougars, no time for fatigue. And he's a shit talker, stirring up the show. Never played a shift, but he's ready to go.